Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Allen a move, his receiver Shakir. Shotgun snap, drifting back 5. Here comes the blitz. He's hit as he throws. There's a wild pass downfield. Dropped and incomplete. At the 35 to Kincaid on a dive. Incomplete to Kincaid at the 35 on a dive.
Yeah, that happened. Kevin Harlan on Westwood won, and then the Chiefs finished him off, getting a first down on the next possession, and that was all she wrote. Congratulations, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to be a good loser here. Pearl, good morning. Congratulations to your Eagles, by the way.
Thank you.
You're going to the Super Bowl, kid.
I speak for America. Thank you, but I speak for America. How you doing, Maggie?
I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to remember all the good things. I've got, health, happiness, my kid, my family. I love working with you guys every day. I'm lucky to do this job. I'm really trying to keep the big picture in mind.
That's not a good Sports Monday when you come in and say, try to remember that my family is healthy. That means things went awry.
Things went really, really wrong. Really wrong. And the worst part about from my Buffalo Bills perspective, and again, congrats to the Chiefs, 32-29, that's your final. The Bills did not play well and at times just really did not look like themselves. And other times they played great and they looked amazing. And the offense was clicking and the defense was coming up with stops in the second half and forcing the Chiefs to punt and force them into field goals and things that you think open up the door to a possible win. But they just couldn't break through. And isn't this so Chiefs? Things just happen to go their way. We'll get into two very controversial calls that happened in this game that went the Chiefs' way that both led to touchdowns. One was a catch/interception that may have happened between Cole Bishop and Xavier Worthy. That led to a touchdown, and then a bad spot, in my opinion, of Josh Allen trying to convert a 4th and 1. They don't give him the spot. It's a turnover on downs. The Chiefs score off of that. And it just killed the momentum, any momentum that the Bills had.
Absolutely. They were winning 22-21 at the time, right? Even Gene Sarator, who is, in my opinion, way too kind to the officials, said that ball was a third of a football over the first down line, which means it was probably a football and a third over the first down line. It's hard to tell. It's funny, Maggie, you and I were talking all day yesterday, like these tush pushes and these quarterback sneaks. It's a gigantic pile. No one has any idea what's a first down or not. They clearly, I don't know if the technology is perfect, but this is a great example of having something in the football that tells you exactly how far it got.
Well, you know how the 13 seconds game when the Bills and Chiefs met in the divisional round a couple years ago, that did change the overtime rules in the postseason because I think America and the NFL was kind of miffed that Josh Allen never got to touch the football. Yep. And it was coming off the heels of Patrick Mahomes also losing it in overtime to Tom Brady and the Patriots where he never touched the ball in overtime. So they changed the playoff overtime rules.
Yep.
I'm wondering if this game ends up forcing the rules committee or whoever makes these decisions into putting some kind of microchip in the ball so we can see exactly where this is. Now, maybe I'm coping today. Maybe as this probably comes across as sour grapes, but I really do feel like, and it was early in the fourth quarter, so there was a lot of ball game left, but the Bills had really grabbed the momentum in the game. They keep that drive alive. If the nuts... Ifs and buts were candy and nuts. Every day would be Christmas.
I will say this. It wasn't the Saints-Rams NFC title game, the missed pass interference call. It wasn't that egregious because it was really close. Let's face it. There's something completely off on the Bills' short yardage runs. Why can't Josh Allen everybody can quarterback sneak. Why do you have a 6'6" quarterback who can, getting a yard feels like Battle of the Bulge just to get an inch?
2 for 5 on quarterback sneaks, tush pushes, whatever you want to call them. 2 for 5. And you could tell at one point how frustrated Allen was because he went up top with it, which is like the worst decision you can possibly make.
Fumbled it.
With your Philadelphia Eagles, the reason why the tush push is so successful, and you talk about this all the time, it's actually Jalen Hurts not being 6'5". He can
getting
squat
under.
500 pounds, and it is a rugby play. It's low man wins. And I think for Allen, it's hard for him to be the low man. And my question is, why don't they just run whatever Tom Brady was running for 21 years when Tom Brady and Josh Allen are more like the same height?
Well, Josh Allen has this habit of standing up. He doesn't. You're right. He does not get low.
Can't
do
it.
The Eagles' tush push is not the same without Kelsey either. They had a couple injuries at center. They got stuffed on one on a 2-point conversion at the one. That never happens. But the most tush pushes, Jalen Hurts gets like 6 yards. And then meanwhile, Josh Allen can't get more than a yard. And the play where he, at the goal line, where he went to the left and sort of ran in the line, that play, I could hear you yelling from 100 miles away. That was the dumbest play call.
Okay, and this is why if we're going to pin this loss on somebody, and I don't, this is our rush to do this, like, is there someone to blame? Like, yes, there's always somebody to blame. And I do want to blame the refs. Believe me, I want to blame the officials more than anybody. But you can't really do that in a 60-minute game when you're right. Was there a call as egregious as Rams Saints? I don't know. I don't think so. I thought 4th and 1 call was terrible. But anyway, I think you have to, if you're the coaching staff, you have more regrets than the players. And I know Dalton Kincaid had his hands on the ball, and I get that. But I think the coaching staff got severely worked in this game. I thought that Joe Brady got worked by Steve Spagnuolo, which, by the way, he wouldn't be the first. Spagnuolo should be a Hall of Fame coordinator.
Amazing.
And Andy Reid was in his bag yesterday. I mean, there were especially drives in the first half. It started to look so easy for the Chiefs. And the Bills' defense, to their credit, did stiffen up a bit in the second half, but they were so undermanned, especially when Christian Benford got knocked out of the game. EJ said he was in a different solar system. You're right. I don't even know if he should have been playing. He was in concussion protocol all week, but he goes out and they start picking on Kyer Elam. Both coach and coordinator for the Chiefs, I felt like really came to work. I thought at times the Bills coaching staff looked asleep.
I totally disagree. I think the Bills coaching staff kept them in that game. Like, what on earth were they doing on that field with the Chiefs? Like, who's Josh? I've never seen an MVP candidate who has to be absolutely hidden because his targets are so awful in the past game. I was salivating hoping the Eagles got to face the Bills. What is their offense? All they have is a James Cook and a prayer.
Okay,
and maybe Mac Hollins breaks them open once.
But that's the thing. You have James Cook is easily the second best player on the offense. Maybe like Deion Dawkins or something on the offensive line. But like, let's just talk about the skill position players. James Cook easily is your second best player outside of Josh Allen. Why did he not touch the ball on your final drive?
Because there are 10 guys in the box.
It didn't seem to matter, Perloff. He was able to find seams. You can pitch out to him. You can do the screen game. James Cook has to be touching the football. And instead, they didn't go to him. And every time he was on the sideline, by the way, he's also on the sideline for all the 2-point conversions that they're running, which I don't understand either. He's your second best player. He's got to be on the field and touching the football in the biggest moments of the season.
Well, do you realize what you're saying? You're saying in a key play like a 2-point conversion, you don't want the ball in your MVP's hand. You want to give it to James Cook, which is not a high percentage play on a 2-point play. You don't want to hand the ball off to a running back. You want the quarterback to have a run-pass option, especially when you have Josh Allen.
I get it, but the 2 for 5 on the third and fourth quarter and the quarterback sneaks, it wasn't working. Credit to the Chiefs. They were loading up. And the one thing about Cook, he's got this sort of deceptive, maybe it's also the speed. It's not Xavier Worthy, but he gets to the edges and he gets to the corners and you don't know. I thought that James Cook and his usage at the end of the first half and then at the end of the game was just baffling to me.
He had like a point where he had 8 handoffs in a row. Like, they gave it to James Cook all the time, it felt like.
Okay, so they get the ball back with 3:30 left, okay?
3:30 left in the game.
And they're down 32-29.
Yes, this is where your MVP quarterback goes on a drive because quarterbacks in this situation have the run option and usually can extend these drives, guys like Josh Allen.
Okay, well, you have plenty of time. You have all your timeouts. You can you can just run the offense here. You're not in hurry up. You're not in 2 minute. You have 3:33 left to go. Now you're getting me mad. 3:33 left to go, and I'm getting Ty Johnson for -1 yard.
Ty Johnson was awesome.
Oh, Ty
all
Johnson
day.
is fine.
Yeah.
A Josh Allen scramble for 13 yards, then incomplete in the middle to Shakir, incomplete to Curtis Samuel, short to Cooper, and he got tripped up for 5 yards. then the incomplete to Dalton Kincaid, and the game is over. James Cook did not touch the ball on that final drive when he was the reason, not the coaching staff. James Cook is the reason why you were able to stay in the game. Let's keep it real here. They started feeding him, and good things started to happen, and they took him off the field. And I have not seen that he was hurt. I have not seen that he was off the field for some other reason we don't know about. It was just stupid. It was just stupid.
You really think you're a Super Bowl caliber team in a 2-minute drive? Your quarterback, I mean, this seems like a situation where a quarterback would run the drive. There's 2 minutes left in the game. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Like, this is not a
3:33, dude.
I know at the beginning of the drive, but then after Josh Allen ran, if I'm looking at the times, most of these passing completes, there's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. This is most coaches in the NFL are passing there, especially when you have Josh Allen. This is not like a no-brainer. Hey, let's run the tailback right or left. This you expect Josh Allen to have the run option, and you expect him. Because like everybody's got to be watching Josh Allen. Should be easy to complete a 5-yard pass.
I get it, but just to your point, who is he throwing to? Like James Cook
why
is
is
the
that on the coach's
second-best
side? That's
guy.
on the GM. I got to tell you, I was hoping the Buffalo Bills won that. It's an Eagles fan because I'm like, oh, Vic Fangio will eat this offense for lunch. There's no options. There's one option. It's James Cook.
I know, and then they go away from him. 855-212-4227. So I'm letting it set in here, guys.
The Chiefs were awfully close to the line. You saw the Chiefs were really close to the line of scrimmage. Even in that 2-minute drive, they're like, well, he hasn't thrown the ball more than 6 yards downfield except for once or twice. Like, let's move up. Let's move up. Let's move up. Eventually, you got to have more variation to your offense.
See, I think they tried to get, I don't know what they were trying to do, but it was not the successful things that had gotten them back into this game and the things that had actually worked to gain and grab the momentum just on the drive before, okay? The drive before, a touchdown drive that ended up tying the game at 29-29. You have Cook, 3 in a row, then Ty Johnson, then Mac Hollins for the big 32-yard strike. Like, why can't you run that?
Yeah,
you had plenty of time.
Then you had a mess at the goal line, but you got in.
Yeah, it was a mess at the goal line the whole night.
Like, to me, the way the Bills played, it was like a small school trying to upset a big school in college, like Northern Illinois upsetting Notre Dame. I felt like they were like, okay, they have an actual passing attack. We apparently don't.
Yeah.
Let's just try and keep it close. And it worked. Honestly, I do think if they'd gotten that 4th down call, which was ridiculous, then they keep the lead, and then they can really use Cook more to salt it away, which they've done all season.
Yep. I mean, what do you think? 855-212-4227. Should I be more upset at the referees, or should I be more upset at the Bills coaching staff? Do you just tip your cap to Mahomes and Andy Reid?
A little bit of that. And Steve Spagnuolo, as you mentioned.
Yeah. I'm not
trying
to take away anything from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the Bills did grab the momentum back in this game. They forced 2 2-and-outs coming out of halftime, or 2 punts, of the Chiefs coming out of halftime.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the opening. That's the opening. It's not going to be the size of the Grand Canyon. It's never going to be that big when it's the Chiefs. But you got to take those opportunities. And they did, and then they didn't get a crucial 4th down call.
I wondered,
and everything changed.
One thing that struck me that they didn't spy Patrick Mahomes completely, and playoff Patrick Mahomes runs a lot. That probably
great point.
Probably the decisive thing in the game. But then again, the Chiefs have so many different weapons. That spy is lost to, I don't know. All of a sudden, Juju Schuster-Smith is incredible. You just go along down the line. It's like they have these guys are coming out of nowhere. So that spy, that they need that guy in coverage because the Chiefs have so many weapons, whereas the Bills have nothing. They just hand the ball off. So I think the coaching staff did a good job to keep them in this game, and honestly, easily could have came out with a win. Needed a little help from the officials on 2 plays that you brought up. I want to hear. Listen. I had no vested interest, and I was mad about that call. Especially the jump ball that hit the ground. How is that a Chiefs catch? I mean, it would have been defensive holding. They would have gotten a 1st down anyway. I'm not sure it was that big of a deal, but that was a ridiculous call.
And of course, who's in the middle of it? Xavier Worthy. I told you guys the day of the draft. Did I not call it the day of the draft?
Don't look at us. It's Perloff who said he wasn't going to do anything.
That's true.
I wasn't a member of the show.
Manny, you get to sit this one out.
I mean, listen, you guys are lucky it was Xavier Worthy and not Rashee Rice. He would have torched that defense.
Yeah, if Rashee Rice was in the game, they'd probably win 50-25. Anyway, I'm curious for the audience. what do you blame? Where did you think this game was lost? Was it the bad ref calls? Was it the Bills coaching staff? Was it just the Chiefs were better? And then I'd kind of like to do a litmus test here from the audience because, I'm kind of in a unique position, not to make it about me, but I have suffered a lot of really tough losses. Like as a fan.
Make me wanna.
Nothing. I've suffered a lot of bad losses. And so I'm kind of like, I haven't really, I'm still in shock a little bit. Like it's still all setting in about how upset should I really be? Like I'm devastated. I'm somewhere between devastated and like bummed. Completely catatonic would have been the 13 seconds game.
Right.
Okay.
That was the worst.
That's my scale. I'm like, where should I be here? Because this was technically a rebuilding year, but then they clinched the division by Thanksgiving, and then you start thinking, all right, maybe they can do this.
It's exactly like last year.
I think that they were so banged up. Well, they were banged up this year. What am I saying?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, the better team clearly won. Is anybody not think that? There's no way you could say that Bills team was the better team.
They weren't, but they had the momentum in the third quarter. They definitely
I know they
did.
had momentum, but did you really think you were going to stop Patrick? Even if they got that fourth down, they were
hanging on.
They were dinking and dunking so slowly down the field. At a certain point, when you do that, you're going to make a mistake. You can't have 5-yard play, 5-yard play.
Why? The Chiefs did it.
Well, the Chiefs are amazing at that.
They dinked and dunked. What were the explosive plays?
Yeah, the Chiefs, they're very similar, except that the Bills it felt like there was a screen pass that was like a 1-yard pass. There must have been 14 Chiefs around that guy.
It felt like on defense they had 13 guys on the field.
Well, that's because they were all in the frame because they didn't put a safety back at all because they had no fear that Josh Allen was going to drop back and sling it downfield. Why are they so afraid of Josh Allen throwing the ball? I think it's more like just let Josh Allen cook a little bit. I know, and that's on you because you said hand it to James Cook. Even now you said hand it to James Cook. You have an MVP. Like, is he not good? What's going on?
He had big completions to Khalil Shakir in this game. He had two big completions to Mac Hollins in this game. One was for a touchdown. The other basically put him right at the goal line. They just have, and maybe if Dalton Kincaid can actually catch that ball, even though it was crazy, Josh is throwing it blind.
That was play of the year almost.
Almost. I mean, maybe we are talking about how Josh picks his spots now and how, because the thing about Josh was there was such a turnover problem that they had to address that. And to be fair, they did. And it made them more dominant this year in a certain way.
I don't know. I saw.
And he should have been picked off twice, by the way, in the first drive.
I know.
Whew.
I mean, It's amazing to me. There were 4 quarterbacks who played Sunday. And I would say, if you didn't know anything about it, you would say number 1 was Jalen Hurts, number 2, Mahomes, number 3, Jaden Daniels, number 4, Josh Allen. Just the way the teams played. Like, the one team that didn't trust their quarterback was Buffalo.
855-212-4227. All right. Where are we going with the blame here, guys? Referees, Bills coaching staff. I don't see anyone who wants to put it on the players. I mean, maybe Dalton Kincaid, your first-round pick, I guess you got to catch that.
What?
It's through your hands. It was such a crazy play, though.
He was diving. I don't know.
I know.
He was diving for a jump ball in the middle of some bizarre mess of players.
I'm grasping. Is there someone else I'm not remembering here?
No, wait. They were going to throw the flag, too, right? Everybody knows that. Have you guys read about that?
Throw the flag where?
So
they did throw a flag. Jim Nantz said there was a flag on the play.
But nobody actually saw the flag.
There was no actual flag. Come on, CBS. You can't toy with me like that.
They were terrible in that stretch.
The internet says they were going to, if he had caught that ball, they would have thrown a flag because they were not going to let the Bills get that catch.
I was like, what?
Well, no, there was definitely something going on. I think the officials were looking at a call of some sort. And maybe a guy lifted a flag. I'd like to see the all 22 on that. Like, we got to get down to the bottom of that. Because it did seem like there were about 9 penalties on that play. That was a total weird play.
Super weird play. But Jim Nantz was adamant there was a flag on the field.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't. Like,
Hello, friends.
Nantz isn't seeing things. This is like his 500th game. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Still never really got an explanation.
We don't know what they were doing.
855-212-4227. We will also celebrate Perloff today. You're being a good winner right now.
Celebrate Perloff. What did I do?
Well, you had to watch your game in solitude just because you didn't want to jinx your Eagles.
My week-long not jinxing the Eagles probably 40% of the reason the Eagles won.
I would say so.
I was very, very intentional in not hyping up this Eagles team. And honestly, until about a minute left when we were up by 30, I was still convinced of the Commanders. I was like, you don't want to see Jaden Daniels with 2 minutes left. That's one guy you don't want to see.
Yeah. Well, turns out you won that one going away. You hung 55 on the Commanders. We'll get to that and a whole lot more. Call us up about the Bills, though, and the Chiefs, 855-212-4227. And then I think there's a question, is this the Super Bowl matchup that people want to see? Well, we'll get to that in just a second.
People named Kevin Hart want to see it. I don't know if anyone else. Battle of the Bulge.
We get to that in just a moment.
All right, Maggie.
Yeah.
The big game's almost here. It's the last chance to get in on the football action. Don't miss out on the final football game in the season with Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on the big game. Feels almost too easy with Saquon Barkley, who helped me out this weekend. The app's simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money.
Okay, so this is one of the silver linings about your favorite team being out of the postseason. Now I can just use Prize Picks, and there's no emotional hedge to it. I can just go exactly where I want to go. And Prize Picks is available in more than 40 states, including California and Texas. If you're not on board, this has been the obsession of the football season for Perloff and myself. We love it, and we want you to be a part of it. Right now, download the Prize Picks app. Use the code M&P. Get a $50 bonus in promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code M&P on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. You win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credits just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff show. It is a tale of two hosts today.
We knew this could
One of
happen.
sadness, one of pure joy / nervousness because now I have to face Patrick Mahomes after you had to
Yeah, good luck to
stare
you.
down that guy. By the way, we spent a lot of talk about GOAT last week. Oh man, is he coming? I feel bad for Tom Brady, not only because he's not allowed to criticize the officials in the broadcast, which is going to kill him in the Super Bowl. He's in a very vulnerable spot. I thought he did a good job yesterday, but generally that not be able to kill the officials is going to be a problem. He's about to get caught by Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I mean, Mahomes, I'll never feel bad for Tom Brady. But he seems to be winning at life. But this is why I'm not sure how I'm devastated. You guys know I'm devastated, but I don't know how bad to feel, because I feel bad because you had the momentum and you had a shot in the third quarter to really grab this thing and then into the fourth quarter. But at the same time, you lose to Mahomes. It's not like you lost to, Trevor Lawrence or something. No offense.
Trevor, that's the one you would pick?
I don't know. I just was grasping.
I might have gone with Purdy. Or it's not like you lost to, wow, this is a tough one.
Yeah, what do you say? Dak
It's not like you lost to
Prescott?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Oh, gosh. Don't play with me like that. 855-212-4227. Danny is in Rochester. Danny, who's everyone blaming up there in the motherland?
I don't think we're blaming much in regards to we're just like you are. We're just so sad. The emptiness, the loss, we're just handling it the best you can.
Yep.
I just got done dropping off the donuts to the kids. I'm an elementary PE teacher here, and just dropped off the donuts to the Chiefs fans this morning at their house. And basically, I told the guy who answered the call here is that last play, if you watched it, they did it in a previous game. Shakir made that move, came across the pre-snap movement, came all the way almost back to Allen, and then he went back the other way, and all they had to do was throw that ball, and they probably got 30 yards because they got a blocker out on the left D back there, and we're rolling. Instead, he rolls to the right into the blitz. I mean, just the creativity was lacking, not much misdirection like the Chiefs do. And we're going to realize that they got that tush push off to the left tackle. Totally, they're all sitting right there.
Yeah, they're sitting right there. And that play you're talking about is obviously the one where Josh Allen throws the ball up to Dalton Kincaid. And Danny, you're absolutely right. I'm assuming the donuts were for a lost bet, but you're a good man for paying off that and try to tell the kids in Buffalo to keep their heads up because there'll be more attempts, there'll be more chances. But the thing is he's right. So they'd actually executed this play against the Chiefs in a previous game. But because Josh Allen didn't go straight back, the blitz came, he was forced to the right. He couldn't go back across his body, but Shakir was wide open. I mean, wide open. And this worked when they had a 4th and 3, I believe. The last time they ran it, this was a 4th and 5. He would have picked up 4th and 25 if they could have gotten it to him.
Well, Josh Allen, after the game, said that he looked through the defense and he did not see the corner blitz coming. And then at the last second, Spags went mad genius on him and changed the look. Josh Allen's like, I did the look through the first time, and I saw exactly what they were doing. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
So give full credit to Steve Spagnuolo for that creative blitz. And I think Allen, I don't know if he should have done one more look right before he hiked the ball. If he had known what was coming, I think he would have figured that out.
Yeah.
But so I'm
But
not.
he didn't.
I think they lost. I think they lost that play pre-snap. I'm not sure about the dropping straight back because it did seem like everybody was coming at him real fast.
They just couldn't get to the second level. Like anytime the blitz came, they just like couldn't get the ball. It was rare that they could just get the ball over that first line. It was, I don't know. It was a lot.
Yeah, they just showed the play on the TV. Oh, my God, was he wide open.
Yeah,
I did not realize.
Bro. Yes. Yeah, I got it. Jerry is in San Francisco, wants to talk about that 4th and 1 play where Josh Allen got stood up. Looked like he had actually gotten the first down, but the officials say no, and then they kept the call as no. What's up, Jerry?
Well, it's not really about the call itself. It's about the notion of putting a sensor in the ball, which of course you could do, and I'm sure it could be made accurate within a half an inch or something or less. The problem is the forward progress issue, and not where the ball is, but where it is when the play is blown dead. Right? I mean, you want to get to the 50, you advance the ball to the 51, but then the whole pile gets pushed back. Before the whistle blows, you still get the 51. So I don't know how you exactly solve both problems, because now you're having to put sensors in people's knees and elbows.
Let's do it.
Again,
Jerry, whatever it takes for as long as it takes, as long as we get the calls right. Jerry, I understand what you're saying in the forward progress. And I'm not trying to be just oversimplify this. And thank you for the phone call. I think they would figure it out. Let's try it. How about this? Let's try it.
Can you put a sensor in a butt cheek? I don't know. Because, one butt cheek isn't the rule one butt cheek is down? Or
a butt
one
cheek.
butt cheek is a catch?
Yeah.
Battle of the bulge.
It's a great conversion chart.
You have to tape them onto the butt cheeks? Like, how is this going to work?
I
like,
think
all right, everyone,
right in the
tape your
pants.
sensors to your butt. Time to play some football.
It's like the last thing you say in a motivational speech.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to run it down their throat.
Yeah.
We're going to be tough. We're going to fight for every blade of grass. And don't forget to tape those sensors to your butt cheeks.
Yes.
Guys, very important.
Actually, when Jerry laid that out, I'm like, oh, my God, this thing will be the worst if they actually go to sensors. But on a tush push, wherever the ball goes, you would think wherever the ball goes the farthest, that's where it should be. And again, it was a first down. And Jalen Hurts, by the way, I think scored on that 2-point conversion where they said he didn't. They just hate the tush push. The refs are waiting to come at the tush push. Watching the Super Bowl, there's going to be, because it's the Chiefs, there's going to be some offsides or something.
Well, we'll get to the whole crazy thing with the Commanders guy going straight over the line, Troy Polamalu style.
Frankie
Louva multiple times to the point where they were reprimanded by the referees. Never seen anything like that before. We'll get to it. See you guys on the phones. Scale of 1 to 10. Pain scale. I'm like at an 8 right now.
Okay.
8.5.
Okay.
Maybe like a 9 if I'm being honest with myself. Bogusch is here with headlines, and we'll get back to the phone calls. What's up, Bogusch?
These headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with our easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. Not sure if you guys remember this, but Saquon Barkley used to be a Giant.
Hurts under center on first down. He pitches it out to Barkley. Takes off to the outside. He's at the 50. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's going to go. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Saquon Barkley, 60 yards on his opening touch.
Merrill Reese on Eagles radio. That's how Saquon's latest masterpiece began. A weaving 60-yard touchdown run on the Eagles' first snap right after Washington began the NFC title game with an 18-play field goal drive. Saquon scored again in the first quarter, then in the fourth, as Philly literally ran away for a 55-23 knockout of Commanders. Barkley finishing with 118 yards and those 3 touchdowns on just 15 carries. Jalen Hurts also scored 3 times on the ground, a 7th rushing touchdown, courtesy of Will Shipley. The Eagles in the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years. Number 1 for Saquon, which is why he's in Philly to begin with.
Of course, that's why I came here. That's one of the first conversations I had with Howie. That's a conversation I had with my family. And like I said last week, came to Philly to be a part of games like this. And go Birds! Nothing better than a game where you can advance to the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs.
Who is that in the background?
It's the mayor, right?
Go Birds!
Oh, it was a drop. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she crashed the press conference.
No, I thought that was some random person. Okay.
Sean Barkley.
It's Nick Sirianni. The Chiefs defense is next for Saquon after their 33-29 survival over those Bills. The game closer than that score, says Andy Reid.
This came right down to an inch, literally. I mean, that's what the stop was. And so it was back and forth. It was going to be back and forth. Whoever had the ball last was probably going to come out on the, in the lead, so in the win. But I'm proud of our guys battling.
That man stood through a 3-hour NFL game and then didn't have the wind to finish that sentence. The end she was referring to was KC's D barely stopping Josh Allen on that 4th and 1 early in the 4th. That led to a Patrick Mahomes rushing score that gave the Chiefs a brief lead. The Bills got even. Harrison Butker kicked a 35-yard field goal, and then the Bills missed again on 4th down with Mahomes running out the clock. The Chiefs, the first team to reach the Super Bowl with a chance at a three-peat. Away from all of that, new Bears head coach Ben Johnson has reportedly picked his coordinators, Dennis Allen for defense and Declan Doyle for offense, but Johnson will call those plays.
You forgot to mention, how old is Declan Doyle?
I don't know.
28.
Good for him.
What the heck? What have you done with your life, Manny?
NFL coaches are my age now? Damn.
28. The Bears, I can't believe they're doing this.
Sometimes I think it's a competition with some of these teams. Our coordinator is 28. It's like ours is a fetus. Ours, we just plucked out of the basement playing Madden for 28 hours straight, and we thought he'd be good. It's like they all want to one-up each other.
Johnson?
Well, the Bears are doing everything to help Caleb Williams. They're like, we got Ben Johnson, the number 1 OC in the league. Now we're going to hire a 28-year-old tight end coach to be the offensive coordinator. What? I mean, I assume Ben Johnson will do everything, but this is a crazy risk for a team that cannot get their quarterback straight for, 75 years? It was a bizarre hire to me.
It is true, and you have the opposite end of the spectrum is the Raiders hiring Pete Carroll. It's like, we're going to go with the oldest guy available. And I actually like that move for them.
Who is, by the way, just as energetic as a 28-year-old.
I know, Manny, wait, if you want to get going on your NFL head coaching career, you're already late, pal.
This makes me incredibly sad.
Well, I'm happy to give someone else some of my sad. Sorry. Misery loves company.
I love being miserable.
There was one NBA game yesterday. The Thunder down the Blazers 118-108, 35 points for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Meanwhile, a major WNBA trade, the Aces getting Jewel Lloyd in the 13th pick. The Sparks get Kelsey Plum in the 9th pick, and the Storm get the 2nd overall selection plus Vegas's first rounder next year. Now, this is technically a sign and trade with Plum, so the deal cannot be official until February 1st. And hockey yesterday, the Golden Knights got right, 4-1 over Florida. Vegas had dropped 7 of their previous 9. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bogusch. Let's sneak in one more call. Josh is in Erie. Josh, you have a thought about spotting the football, maybe with a microchip or some kind of technology.
Yeah, so there's a million cameras in these stadiums for these officials to look at on these replays. And on these tush pushes, we're assuming the spot there 9 times out of 10. Let's see, you see him over the goal line. How in the world do they not assume on a 4th and 1 where his body ended up? I just don't understand that.
That it was a first. You mean it was a first down based on where his body ended up?
Yeah, and we assume it on the tush push play all the time when he's underneath all the pile.
I think it's something about the way Josh Allen runs. He's so upright. Maggie nailed it. It's easier to see with Jalen Hurts than it is with Josh Allen. I feel like he gives the impression that he's being stood up. That's exactly what happened. They just stood that dude up.
And also he ends up he sometimes turn his back too and start trying to backpedal into it. And I think that also doesn't help because now you're turning the football away from the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And speaking of a microchip in a ball, I don't know how that would happen with how a ball is designed. It will change the complexity and the feel of that ball. I don't think the players would actually like it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, Josh. Thank you for the phone call about, with Major League Baseballs, everything, if you do one thing and put it off 1/10 of a centimeter, the pitchers can tell and it changes everything. The record books have to be rewritten and everything. I don't know if it would do the same thing in a football.
A baseball, at least, though, is solid. You could theoretically put something and then wrap it around. A football full of air, where would you put it in the first place?
In the pigskin. There are little pockets where you could just stick it. I don't even think you'd notice it.
Honestly,
under the strings.
We got self-driving cars. I mean, we're about to start doing deep space things to Mars. We can figure this out, right?
No, the NFL likes this. All these things could be fixed. We don't need chains for first downs anymore. They just like it.
Oh, they want to keep things the same. They like us talking about these controversial calls.
Yeah.
Well, the chain guys have a strong union.
Is that what it
is? Chain gang union. 855-212-4227. I know, basically the Teamsters. Yeah. Everyone always says that.
Well, Gene Sarator came on at one point, and there was a replay assist, and he's like, well, I guess they got it right. I don't really like it. I'm like, are you crazy? The old school mentality. Replay assist is the best thing that happened to officiating. Oh, my God.
Got a little ticky-tack yesterday.
Got
a little ticky-tack.
I mean, the fact that they just immediately call things instead of just the right thing 90% of the time is so much better than the old way, where they would just do a 3-minute review.
How about a pre-snap penalty that gets called 40 seconds after the play is over for Buffalo? You call an illegal formation 40 seconds after the play's over, dead, and everyone's moved on. What is happening?
Yeah,
it backs them up 5 yards.
No, it didn't. It didn't do anything. There was as I said on Twitter. They declined the penalty, so it made no difference. But Tony Romo acted like, man, those pre-snap penalties will kill you, except for that one, which had no impact whatsoever. But that was strange. You're right.
It was so weird. 855-212-4227. Romo. Ugh.
Romo was on fire yesterday. He said the Bills are going to come out and run the ball in the second half, and they did that. Then he said, watch out, the Chiefs are going to throw in this position in the fourth quarter. He was 2 for 2 on the big strategy things. I know you guys think he's a weirdo sometimes, but he got it last night, in my opinion. He said the Chiefs are going to throw here. It's exactly what they did. The Bills should have been listening.
This game is going to be far from mid.
855-212-4227. All right, who should we be blaming today? Who are you blaming for why the Bills lost this game? Is it the referee calls? Is it the coaching staff? You want to blame the players? That's not me. Or maybe you just tip your cap to the Chiefs. How about that? And we'll get to Perloff's game as well. Philadelphia Eagles on their way to the Super Bowl. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping.
You know,
left its seeds while
I can't say like I'm surprised, you know? This is now just kind of a way of life for
Why
us
would you be
Bills
surprised?
fans. I can't be surprised. Mahomes is too good. And he was running yesterday, and he looked like Josh Allen. He was running in for touchdowns. He was sacrificing everything. They look good, Perloff. You got your hands full in the Super Bowl.
I really wanted to see the Bills.
Thank you. You say that now.
Yeah, well, I just think that Vic Fangio would love to see a team that only has one arm behind their back. There's no pass game, Maggie.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you can't blame anyone. I think there's a personnel issue. I'm sorry. It's just they're not a Super Bowl level team right now, are they? I'm laying on. I'm sorry being mean, but
That's all right.
where are the Josh Allen's your MVP? Maybe you should have just taken a totally different tact and let him cook. I don't know if it'll work. No.
Listen, letting him cook, he did actually complete some really nice throws, but
he's amazing.
James Cook was when they looked the best. And listen, they still lost the game by 3 freaking points. It's not like they got blown out, which in some ways makes it worse. I don't know. Jay is in Nashville. Jay, say something to make me feel better, will you?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I saw that 1 yard play. I think he got the first down. Matter of fact, I still thought he got the first down. I was cooking, making some hamburgers. I saw the replay. I was like, oh, he got it. I came in the kitchen. Then it went back in, and I was like, what happened? And, they overturned it. But I will say, if that had been Baltimore playing, because really the game was weird, especially on the KC side, because they really was not using Kelsey at all, which kind of baffled me. And I will say, if that was Baltimore playing, then Baltimore would have probably ran them out of the building. If that was Baltimore playing KC.
What?
You know what I mean?
No way.
I think, Baltimore would have ran them out of the building because it was like, because Baltimore got other way. It was like Buffalo was kind of one-dimensional in that game. And really, I don't know, it was almost like they didn't know what they wanted to do. They should have stuck with Cook. They should have stuck with Cook. And it was just, the whole game was stagnated to me. Even though it was a back and forth, they were scoring and everything, but something was just weird about that game to me. But
Jay, you're right. It was a little odd, and it was from the first drive. Bills their identity was like shaken up,
Yep.
They'd been winning one way, and then they went away from it.
Jay, so you're indoors cooking hamburgers? What's the deal here? Like, you're in the kitchen, you're outside on the patio? Where are you cooking?
I was in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen cooking on the stove and everything. I was making my lunch for the day.
Yeah. Do you have any secret recipes? Any advice? I feel like you'd be a good cook.
Well, I had to do a little experiment. I made the burger patties and I cut them open on the inside and I stuffed all the cheese inside of them. So
elite.
it was something I really had to watch. I had to cook them like long and slow so the cheese wouldn't just run out of the burger patty, but it turned out good. But look, enough about all that. Wait. Enough about all that. EAGLES.
Yeah, baby.
Once again, it's on Perloff. You know what I mean? And I was really proud of that game. And I don't know why you were so nervous. I was so sure we were going to win. I went at halftime to Walmart and came back. And you know what I mean?
Wait, Jay, I'm sensing a trend here. You're getting up and leaving and walking away from the TV at very crucial times.
Sports ADD, Jay.
Jay,
I knew it was over.
Yeah.
I knew it was over.
Jay, I was with you. And thank you for the call, dude. I'm sorry. I want to get this one point to Perloff because you're right. You were so worried. I'm the one who laid the points with the Eagles. It's like all of a sudden you thought your team was going to turn into some kind of JV squad or something.
Well, I followed you on social media on Sunday.
Yeah.
And you, in the first quarter, say you were quoting our buddy, Chris Carlin, saying when a playoff team gets blown out, it's like the long goodbye.
Yeah.
Then 2 minutes later, oops, tie game.
I did say, check that.
Yeah.
But then the second half happened.
I mean, thank God the Commanders had all those fumbles because if you had stacked up those two teams against each other, it would have been very close. The Commanders were good. You can't fumble like that, Austin Eckler and all those guys.
I know. How about Tom Brady knowing that Austin Eckler has small hands? Look at Brady.
That is not something you want to hear if you're a man.
You're a man. Eckler's been in our lives for like a decade. I never heard anyone say anything about the small hands.
He's 5'9". What do you think? He's got giant hands like your feet? Give me a break.
I know. I had a thing with my feet this weekend. Anyway, Thomas is in Wisconsin. Curious about this. Why the Bills couldn't get it done, Thomas? Go ahead.
Well, first off, to everybody, the entire crew, I do want to say I really do love and appreciate your show. I've taken a liking to it ever since EA kind of dropped and moved on to other adventures.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for sticking with us.
Absolutely. We all loved Damon Amendola. I mean, there's not a question about that. Right, guys?
Yeah, DA's the man.
Maggie Perloff.
Yeah.
DA was goated.
Great.
But anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. Now, the game yesterday. The Bills, there are about 3 to 5 things in my head as to why the Bills couldn't get it done. And
what's the first one? What's the number one overarching
the number one overarching reason is the defensive pressure. You know why I say that, Maggie and Perloff? I say that because there were a couple instances when the Bills defense, there we go, did get some moderately good pressure.
Yeah, Thomas, we're up against it, man.
Yeah, we're at a break,
I'm sorry,
Thomas.
it was almost like a dissertation there. I feel like you were just teaching a class, Thomas the professor.
I think you had a really good point. I want to talk about that, too. Sorry, we ran out of time there, but that is a big topic that we were talking about in the break.
Bills pass rush. Did they do their jobs last night? I think the final score probably tells you that answer. 855-212-4227. We get it more into it next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Hurts takes the snap. He gives it to Barkley. Barkley runs wide. Touchdown! His third of the day!
Merrill Reese, short, sweet, to the point. Eagles win. It's dominant. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. So much to react to from yesterday. But Perloff, your team's going to the Super Bowl. How'd you celebrate?
I breathed for the first time in hours and hours and hours. I didn't really have time to celebrate. I was at home, didn't go to the game. I had a lot of friends at the game. They were all sending me videos. I had a buddy who got onto the field and somehow had a catch with Pete Davidson, the comedian. I don't know how that happened.
Wow.
It was... And then I watched the Broad Street, and I'm glad I wasn't here for this. Did you see the crowds that went on the street of Philadelphia? It seemed wildly, wildly dangerous, but what a party.
Who are you? What's going on? Wildly dangerous. We've seen Philadelphia fans celebrate in a dangerous way. This one seemed pretty tame.
Pretty tame. I saw a video of a guy who's like, does that guy have a gun? Yeah, who cares? Birds won. Like, it was crazy, the elation. That was... Talking about fire hazards. Oh, my God.
There was a guy who climbed up to the top of a light pole, okay? And he's sitting on there, and someone tossed him a copy of Inner Excellence. Yeah. This was the most tame Eagles, it's not a championship parade, NFC championship celebration that I've ever seen.
Oh, but there were a lot. In all seriousness, like, that was a huge safety hazard. The amount of people they crammed into City Hall, Broad Street. Like, if anything went wrong, like, people would have trampled all over each other. That was not a well-designed parade.
What am I hearing? Your team's going to the Super Bowl. My team's in the gutter. I've got to try to pick myself up off the ground. I'm talking about how, the silver lining, I've got family members and friends that love me, and you're worried about someone sprains an ankle on Broad Street?
I was worried that hundreds of people were going to stampede all over each other.
There were cops out there.
But also, too, like...
Cops were, like, doing a Dougie and doing the Soldier Boy.
I will tell you, though...
I saw a cop pretend to arrest a little kid. It was quite funny.
I actually...
Very on brand.
That was pretend?
It was pretend.
Maybe a little over-celebrating. There is one more game.
Shocker.
There is one more game.
I can't even... just enjoy this. Enjoy this.
I was enjoying it. Then I was like, oh... Samaje Perine in the flat. They're going to do that to us, aren't they?
Yeah, Perine wasn't even the problem.
Well, it's just somebody in the flat. It's always some Chiefs guy in the flat on a key third down. What the heck?
I know.
But anyway, it was a great win. I was a little bit wrong. I think the Commanders were actually closer to the Eagles in the final score. The fumbles really determined the game.
Absolutely. I thought the Commanders, this is a great story overall, and we'll get back to the Bills-Chiefs in a minute, but it's a great story overall. I think the NFL is better when Washington is good. It's a storied franchise that Dan Snyder had run right into a ditch, and the fact that they're good and Jaden Daniels is so exciting is great for all of us as sports fans, but man, they did everything you do to lose a game like that. Like, let's call it what it was. Jaden Daniels can be great, but you can't fumble the ball. You can't have the stupid penalties. You can't lose your composure. I mean, the silly thing that happened at the goal line was just almost like funny at this point, where they're trying to stop the tush push, and they can't do it. They keep jumping over the line of scrimmage to the point where they were reprimanded by the officiating crew.
Well, we all like intensity in football, but I got to be honest, even Commanders fans, Marshawn Lattimore, dude, chill out just a little bit. They could have thrown many more flags on that guy, and also he didn't quite live up play-wise to the level of anger that he had. He's a great player, but he's a little bit of a problem. I'm talking about the Commanders cornerback who tried to start a fight on every single play.
Yeah, and at one point it was A.J. Brown who they get into a tussle. Brown actually ends up like ripping his helmet off of his head, but didn't get called for it. So here's the referee, Sean Hockley, reprimanding, I don't know what else to call it, shaking the finger at the Washington Commanders because they kept jumping over the line of scrimmage trying to jump over the tush push.
Encroachment, defense number 93. Washington has been advised that at some point the referee can award a score if this type of behavior happens again. For now, it's a replay of second down.
The Commanders.
This is the I will turn this car around of referee calls. If you could jump over this line or if you do encroachment one more time, I swear to God, I will turn this car around. And nobody is going to Disney World. That's what it
so
felt
funny.
like.
Can I tell you one other key play?
Yeah.
This is going to sound stupid, and I think you and I have this argument all the time. You're always like, but Perloff, it was the first quarter. The Commanders get about 5 fourth downs in a row on their first drive, get all the way down to the 15-yard line, and then kick a field goal. Why? I don't feel like Jaden Daniels can be stopped on fourth down, and I think that's why he's going to win a Super Bowl at some point. That guy is pure money. The Commanders, if they take out the fumbles, I think their ability to push Jaden Daniels through 4 downs makes him a really dangerous team moving forward. Like, it's 4th down and 4. Is there any doubt that Jaden Daniels is going to get that first down? They're an interesting team to me because they're doing something on 4th down that no one else has ever done. We have the tush push on 4th and 1. They have Jaden Daniels on 4th and 3. Unstoppable.
Yeah, and it was weird. Then they did get kind of conservative. I think Dan Quinn got a little worried that people would say, you take the points. What are you doing? You're on the road. You take the points early in the game. But what was not hilarious about this, but I thought what was kind of funny is after that first drive, a 17-play drive to open up, right? And you end with a field goal if you're Washington. And what was everyone saying? Like, man, this is awesome. This is how you start a game. And then, boom, next play, Saquon Barkley, touchdown. Now it's 7-3. It's like, well, that was stupid. It just got erased and just tilted back to the Eagles in 20 seconds, if that.
And crazy, too, because they were in a run look on defense, and they had so much success against Saquon Barkley in the last game by moving everybody up. I heard someone say they were on a 2-6 or something, whatever. Everybody was there. Part of the problem was they were in a run look, and once Saquon got past the first level, he was gone. That was unbelievable. The Eagles fans who are nervous like me were like, well, you got to give the defense a rest, Saquon. Don't score so fast.
Well, listen, it just the Commanders helped you out here because after that Saquon Barkley, 1 play, 60 yards, 18 seconds. That's how long it took for the Eagles to get the lead. And then on the next drive, De'Ami Brown fumbles. Eagles turn that into a touchdown. And that's what I thought the blowout may have been on. But to the Commanders' credit, they did come back and make it a game for like another quarter and a half. Let's go to Ramon, who's in Indianapolis. What's up, Ramon?
Hey, my good people. Great Monday morning. Perloff, rejoice. Maggie's right.
One more game,
Rejoice.
Ramon.
Yes.
One more game, Ramon.
I was with Philly fans yesterday. It was fantastic. Beautiful. Had nice jerseys on. Great people. Met some people. Your energy is fantastic, and I don't think the Commanders, in my opinion, are that close because of Saquon Barkley. The last game he had 150 yards against him. He's been killing them around the ground, so that's going to be Maurice Jones-Drew said the difference between Philly and Kansas City in the first meeting is that they got Saquon Barkley. Now, that's a whole different thing. And Jalen Carter, an all-pro, who caused a lot of havoc on that line to Daniels. But going to Buffalo, the coaching, Maggie.
Yeah.
The coaching.
I know they should have major regrets. Major regrets.
Why would you go for those? You're in the third quarter. Why go for 2 then? If you kick the extra point, you're only down 4. They get a field goal, you're only down 7. But Romo did call it. Hey, Kansas City looked at the film. Josh likes to go left over the guard. Okay, you get stopped the one time. When you think you go right the next time, they lined Chris Jones them lined up on the left.
I know. Right
there again, over the guard again. You get stopped again. Wouldn't you go differently? I don't understand what's wrong. When you put a couple tight ends in, Philadelphia has the right formula for that. It's impossible to stop it. But why would you shift over that guard again?
I don't know.
And then get stopped again.
I have no idea.
Okay,
it's like
we got to go the other way or something like that. They didn't do it. I think it was coaching.
You got to be more creative than that to beat the Chiefs.
Be more creative. You know, Josh going to get killed today. I don't think he should. He doesn't have as much. Cooper really didn't help him much. The number 15 or 14 I was happy with. That boy played pretty well. Receiver, he actually played pretty well. He needs T. Higgins. Get T. Higgins.
You know,
taking my call.
Yeah, Ramon, thanks. It's great to hear from you. I'm just reacting to everything you're saying there because I think you're spot on. Yep. I don't think Josh Allen is going to get a lot of criticism because if you take Josh Allen off of this Buffalo team, what are they? I mean, they're a good team. They're not a Super Bowl contending team. You know, he is so important. The team, the city, nobody's going to be turning on Josh Allen. Don't give him a reason to try to be looking for an exit or a way out of town or whatever. As far as T. Higgins, love T. Higgins. T. Higgins has killed the Bills in the past. I just worry about the injuries. Seems like he's been dealing with some injury stuff the last couple of years, and if you're giving him $30 million or whatever it's going to be, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have to take a risk. You got to try something.
It's expensive risk.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but where's all the other cap money going? I know you have Josh Allen and you have Deion Dawkins. I don't know who else you will need to pay.
Ed Oliver you paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it doesn't feel like you have the same number of star players as some of the other contenders. Look at the Ravens. I mean, that's a team that has to pay a lot of people. Look at the Eagles. The Eagles, we mentioned all those guys. I'm not sure. Like, I'm looking at the Bills roster. I don't see where the money is exactly.
855-212-4227. Preston is in Arkansas, feeling my pain this morning, which I appreciate. What's up, Preston?
Hey, guys, first of all, I wanted Luvu to jump the line one more time because I actually had Sean Hockley at plus 1 million on prize.
Pair him together with Clete Blakeman. Yeah.
Yeah, I am not a Bills fan, but that game last night broke me more than any sports event in recent history because I'm not a Bills fan, but I am a fan of good versus evil, and that's exactly what it was. And evil prevailed. But here's the thing, Maggie, I am not qualified to call plays.
Yeah.
And I want to lead with that. I'm not a play caller. I'm not a coach. But can we run the football, please?
I know.
Maybe just run the football.
Well, you got James Cook has to have the ball in his hands on that last drive. The fact that he didn't touch the ball is just ridiculous.
In those critical moments, there was multiple where he just didn't get the ball. And second of all, Perloff, I want to disagree with you here for a second.
Hit me.
I think, despite the turnovers, if the turnovers didn't even happen, the Eagles still win that football game.
Probably, but it'd be closer.
Looks unbelievable.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was Super Bowl Jalen Hurts. He was on fire.
Exactly.
Yeah, what happened to the knee injury?
I don't know.
You were so worried. The guy takes the brace off. It was like I don't know if there's even a comp. It was like he threw I'm sure some Marvel character probably has something like this. He threw the brace away and he looked even better.
Well, after the game, did you hear he said, "Does Nick Sirianni finally let me out of prison and play football?" So it's been Sirianni who's making Hurts bad. I mean, honestly, it has been. They finally let him go and he was great.
Preston, thank you for the phone call. Now, here's a question, and maybe Preston actually can call us back between now and the big game and give us an official ruling here. He said the Bills versus the Chiefs was good versus evil, and evil won. I didn't say that. Preston, Arkansas said that. Who's good versus evil when it's Chiefs-Eagles?
There's only one correct answer.
Yeah, both.
No, it's the ones that are in the armpit of America. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I mean, I got to be honest. I think the Chiefs are going to become the likable team here.
No chance.
I was thinking about it.
EJ,
Chiefs,
we were talking.
Eagles, who's the more likable team? Who's the public going to be rooting for?
We were debating pre-show out in the newsroom. You weren't there. Can EJ stick with his Chiefs hate when the Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl? So you're sticking with it.
Oh, this is the easiest assignment ever.
We already had this conversation behind the glass.
I'm very annoyed that the Eagles are here, but that's not fine. I'm not a Giants fan. I don't care about the Eagles. We need the Chiefs out of here, okay? Preston's 100% right. I mean, Andrea thought I was a madman. She thought the Jets were playing. She's like, why are you yelling so much? I'm like, we need the Chiefs gone. I could not believe how open Perine was on a freaking big play, the biggest play of the season, and there's that guy 20 yards away from him. Like, how do these guys keep getting away with it? We can't let them get away with it.
Wait, EJ, that's not what they got away with. They got away with a catch interception that was ruled a catch, that was never a catch, that we've been watching football. Like, we all have no idea what a catch is. That's never called a catch. When a guy's got one hand on it and it hits the ground, that's never a catch, but for some reason it's a catch and it sets up the Chiefs at the goal line. Of course it is. And then the second one is the 4th and 1 play. The 4th and 1, Josh definitely picked up the first down, but they called him short of it, and the Chiefs go the other way and score a touchdown there. Like, Maggie, that's getting away with it. The Perine, I've been watching, that busted coverage.
Maggie,
they didn't know.
It's all of it. It's all in one big gumbo. That's the problem, is that you can pick 15 different things. It's how good they are. It's how lucky they are. It's the refs. It's how much the other team seems to not know how to play football in the most key points in the game. Why is Perine 20 yards and nobody near him?
Also, that was the first time he touched the ball the entire game.
I mean, you're sort of playing the run there. That's a tough spot. I mean, come on. You didn't tell me any team's going to stop the Chiefs in that situation. They haven't stopped them in 5 years.
That's my point.
Here's the thing. EJ, could have been anybody. Could have been anybody.
Did you hate Tom Brady for doing the same thing?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Did you hate Michael Jordan?
Me. I'm him. Yes. I hated all these people when they did this.
You even hate it. Well, I think you're a little young, but why would you hate Michael Jordan for being better than
I'm a Knicks fan. What are you talking about?
He was dropping double nickels on EJ's
I was 5 years old.
Did you hate
man.
Mike Tyson when he was
team.
killing everybody? Like, you don't like excellence?
No, what I don't like is seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And like, I was rooting for the Bills so hard, but as you said during this game, Perloff, it was so obvious. Like, man, like Pat Mahomes is playing against farmers and plumbers, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you're talking like they got no receivers. The one corner gets hurt, and all of a sudden they're like, well, the Bills won't be able to cover Xavier Worthy for the whole game. I'm like, he's one corner. You don't got nobody else on the bench? Like, why is this team so much better than everyone else? What is going on? I can't take it anymore.
See, I think despite EJ's amazing points that he's bringing up, I do think the public is going to weirdly get back on the Chiefs, and here's why. Nobody loves the Eagles. And secondly, I think people are going to start wanting to see history. Like, if you couldn't have seen the Bills take them out, if evil did prevail over good, although I don't like putting it that way. But you know what I'm saying? If you couldn't get the Bills, like, well, at least maybe we should watch history.
I think there's one thing you guys are missing. America loves Saquon Barkley, and they love dunking on the Giants screwing up the Saquon Barkley situation. I think that America will get behind Saquon Barkley suffering all those years with the New York Giants, going to Philadelphia and winning a Super Bowl, sticking it to Mara and those clowns who said that he wasn't worth $14 million. I think that that's going to be the story of the Super Bowl.
America doesn't know anything about that. They don't even know who Mara is.
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean? Every time he scores a touchdown, we're like, hey, remember he was on the Giants last year? We talk about that. Everyone knows that.
I think America knows Taylor Swift. America knows Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they hate them.
I think you're in too deep. I think it's going to be. I think there's a whole America out there who's more agnostic towards this whole situation.
Well,
and it'll go Chiefs.
I don't think it's the matchup we were really clamoring for.
Oh my God.
Even
I'm
like dying for it.
Oh, I mean, honestly, for our show purposes, I'm not blaming you for this, Maggie, but we had a real opportunity to have the Bills and the Eagles, and you blew it.
Oh, and by the way, like I was on with our buddy Zach Gelb on Friday doing some picks, and he had come up with the perfect show bet for Eagles Bills, and I have to give Zach full credit for it because it was his beauty of an idea. Whoever lost got the baptism by either Cheese Whiz or Blue Cheese.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would have been glorious.
Like hot cheese whiz? Like Game of Thrones style?
Make it room temperature.
Game of Thrones style. That was one of the most horrific scenes.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we would have gotten some real publicity for a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl.
Oh, my team couldn't hold up in the end of the bargain.
I'm blaming the officials.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. There's one guy that has not been blamed this morning that I'm a little annoyed about. And I'm not saying he deserves all the
Dalton
blame.
Kincaid?
Josh Allen, bro. Like,
don't even.
Maggie.
What did Josh Allen do wrong?
Okay, he's an MVP candidate. You get the ball with 3 minutes left. You can't get past the 50? You can't get past the 50, bro? Come on. And I'm not trying to make this about any other quarterbacks, but any circumstance where you have an MVP caliber quarterback, you get the ball with 3 minutes left. You get the ball on the 30-yard line, whatever. You only gain 17 yards. You can't even get past. All you need is a field goal. You don't only. I'm sorry that he came up small in that situation. They only got one first down.
Listen,
he deserves some blame for that.
I am not going to blame Josh Allen for this, even though I think you could have blamed Allen if he was turning the ball over, if he was being reckless with the ball, that kind of thing. I think what happened is they went away from the formula. They had a formula.
Yep.
It was giving the ball to James Cook. And what happened when they were giving the ball to Cook? Allen was able to find Khalil Shakir.
Yeah.
He was able to find Mac Hollins. It's hard for me to put this one on Allen.
I think, though, when you get conservative, it sends a message to your team. And I think you can't all of a sudden turn it on into a 2-minute drill and then have your quarterback be the hero when all game you've been telling him you're not good enough to lead this team.
Well, the one question is the Curtis Samuel drop. Did you think that was too low of a throw? I thought he should have had it.
Killer.
He should have had it. You could have gotten up and run for another 25 yards. Green grass, man.
That was a well-designed play.
It was there. You've got to catch that.
I didn't love that throw.
It wasn't a perfect throw.
No, I didn't.
It was not a perfect throw.
I just feel like.
But if it's in your hands, isn't that on the receiver?
Like the Bills did a great job in keeping Mahomes to a field goal, but he got them a field goal. And that's what happens with the Chiefs, and that's what's so frustrating is that when the game's on the line, that dude with the Kermit the Frog voice is always going to outplay your quarterback. Every single time.
Yep.
And when the chips were down again, Mahomes, even though he couldn't get a touchdown because the Bills actually stood up, he still got them in field goal range for an easy field goal. And the Bills get the ball in decent position, at least get past the 50 and give them a shot. I mean, Bass looked pretty good. That field he hit earlier was money. And he didn't even get past the 50. Like, I just think we're talking about the greatest quarterbacks of all time. We put Josh Allen as one of the greatest in this generation. You don't get past the 50? All you need is a field goal? That was massively disappointing to me.
855-212-4227. Are we letting Josh Allen off the hook? Let us know what you think. Does he deserve more blame because he could not get the Bills in field goal range to tie the game? Okay, we got to take a quick break. See you guys on the phones. Keep them coming here. I love all of these. I want to get to all of you, and we will. Don't move. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff show. I was just thinking about something. The Kansas City Chiefs fatigue is definitely real. There are definitely a lot of people who have an issue with Patrick Mahomes and KC. But I got to tell you, if you think for 1 second after 2 weeks of obnoxious Eagles fans that KC is going to be the unlikable team of this duo, no way.
Go Birds!
I mean, it's going to be wait till those Eagles fans and Gilly the King get down there, the super fan. They are going to be ridiculous. And they were totally ridiculous on Sunday. I mean, a 9-year-old kid had to get arrested for trying to climb a pole. I mean, this is...
Was that kid 9?
Give him
like
life.
He's more like 6.
Give him life.
He was out there. It was kind of late, I guess. But here's a question. I'm trying to think of another Super Bowl where we had kind of two teams that no one really liked. Maybe Patriots Eagles.
I think
Patriots Eagles.
But at least it was Nick Foles, and it was kind of like, well, they got a backup quarterback.
I think you guys are talking personally because I do think there are many, many Kansas City Chiefs fans out there. I think Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they're all 12-year-old girls.
I think young fans
who found football 18 months ago.
I think young agnostic fans probably picked up the Chiefs. I'll bet you there's a whole generation of Chiefs fans that's like Steelers fans back in the 70s and Cowboys fans in the 90s. I'll bet you that's all happening right now. You guys are just bitter fans who've been burned by Patrick Mahomes.
I think you underestimate how obnoxious Chiefs fans are, though. I think you're really,
Chiefs fan. It's Kansas City. It's one of the smallest markets in all of pro sports.
Yes, but because of this run that Pat Mahomes has been on, they now have these higher profile people that
like who?
Nick Wright. We just had Karen Harrison on talk about how the Chiefs will be back next year. Maggie, even if you beat us, we're going to come back. Every time you talk to a Chiefs fan, they talk like they should because they got the dark arts on their side. So I would talk crazy too.
But dark arts.
The Chiefs fans are also very obnoxious. Brittany Mahomes spraying people with beer, and the fans are like, no, we like this. I mean, like, they're not like that likable either.
I know. The only thing is about that, I think it's the ref calls that people don't like because we also complain about the refs a lot because I think they deserve it, quite frankly. But this is what you get when you win this much, right? I mean...
No. That's not true. Like, you shouldn't get calls just because you win.
No, I'm talking about being obnoxious. Like, being a completely overconfident fan. And haven't they kind of earned that? Like, I don't know. I don't want to start begrudging them because it's like, to the victor goes the spoils. I mean, you're just calling out Josh Allen in the last segment. Patrick Mahomes got it done. Josh Allen did not. Bill's coaching staff got worked. What do you do? Yeah, 2 controversial calls. I hated them. The catch, interception, what was it? And then the 4th and 1. Hated it. But you know what? Bill's also made a lot of mistakes. Pre-snap penalties, stupid. Went away from James Cook, stupid. And so they also beat themselves in some way.
I don't agree with you. I think they had a worse team. I don't think it was coaching. Based on the fact that they had a worse team.
Let's go to Sean. He's in Oregon. Sean, how'd you see this thing?
I'm feeling for you, Maggie. This has got to be pretty heartbreaking, and I think there's always enough blame to go around. I'm not a guy that lays blame. I mean, you could nitpick things and do that, till the cows come home sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is, and I don't believe in curses. I'm not a guy that believes in curses either, but I do believe in miracles. And since about week 4 or 5, I've been calling these guys the Miracle Chiefs, and somebody needs to take them out. Because every time they win a game like this, these one-score games, these really close games, these players get a lot of confidence. And by the end of the year, they don't feel like they're going to be able to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And confidence in sports is a big thing. And I've been seeing this brewing here for the last few weeks, and it's real sad to see. Because I nip things in the bud. If I see somebody getting too confident, man, I'm going to nip that in the bud real quick. And
what
I love
could the
to
Bills
play
have done,
spoiler.
though, Sean? How do you break their confidence? It's hard, right? I think the Bills were feeling confident. Sean, thanks for checking in, as always. Appreciate you. Bills had not fumbled the ball since, week 4. Bills were on this all-time heater in terms of playing clean, playing smart. They should have been confident also. Their kicker got all of the bad mojo worked out. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Maybe the roster just wasn't as good. They lost Christian Benford, the cornerback, and it was like the entire – and it's not the entire defense fell apart because they did force 2 punts coming out of halftime.
Yes, but you also, during that time, you had the sense if the Chiefs needed to turn it on, they could, in part because Patrick Mahomes uses his legs so much in the playoffs. It's like an impossible stop. You cover everyone, boom, 8 yards, first down.
Sean is in Texas. Good morning, Sean. Sean, you there, pal?
Yes.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How y'all doing this morning?
We're good. What's on your mind?
Maggie, you can't tell me you weren't already prepared. What's going to happen?
Yes, my whole life, Sean. You want to go back through the TikTok? Let's start when I'm 8 years old.
Oh, my God. No, but I just say it's time to just recognize the Chiefs, man. I can't stand myself, but their coaching, their preparation, and their poise is just like no other team in the league. Quite honestly,
They're on a different level. But here's the thing about this, Sean, and this is like why I have it's not that I have trouble giving full credit to the Chiefs, and thank you for the call. I do. I'll give them the full credit. The part about this game that really chaps me is the Bills were right there. They didn't get blown out. This isn't the Commanders. They were right there at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and I just want to know how life would have been different if that drive had been able to continue where Josh Allen did convert on a 4th and 1, and they didn't give it to him. That's all I want to know.
Could have gone up 29-21, could have gone up at least 5. Big deal.
I want to know what that would have looked like. I'll never get a chance to know. Congratulations, Chiefs, but I just want to know if that would have made a difference. And I'm not saying they were robbed, but that call was huge, and it went against them.
Yeah, no, you can't argue about it. Just game flow. Also, they could have leaned on James Cook more if they had a lead in that position. This game was, as we totally both predicted, razor's edge. Ball bounce either way. It did feel inevitable the Chiefs won. But I got to ask, here's a question. I'm looking at the Bills roster. So they didn't have Taylor Rapp, and they didn't have Christian Benford for most of the game.
Yeah.
Other than Josh Allen and other than Deion Dawkins, name one position the Bills had an advantage over the Chiefs at, personnel-wise.
Did you say Cook?
Okay, Cook. Yeah. I did not say Cook. And that's whatever. I got to tell you, I'm looking at it's just not a great roster. The Ravens were probably a much more talented team.
Okay, so this is the silver lining that the Bills fans, if we can find one, it's going to take a little bit. But this is the silver lining, is that this was technically a rebuild.
Yes. This is exactly, and they look like a rebuilding team.
Okay, but you clinch the division at Thanksgiving. You start thinking maybe this team is built for other things. Also, you beat the Ravens.
3 worst owners in the NFL in your division.
Well,
except for Kraft.
You beat the Ravens.
Yeah,
you beat the Ravens.
I know. Thank you, weather.
I know. Perloff will never give the Bills credit for that one. Let's get to Bogusch. He's got headlines for us. Did the sun come up today? Do you have any idea about that?
I think it did. Have I seen it? I don't know. It's not Mark Andrews. It's technically not a drop in the truest sense of the word, but the Bills needed a play from their tight end yesterday at Arrowhead.
Allen to move his receiver Shakir. Shotgun snap, drifting back 5. Here comes the blitz. He's hit as he throws. There's a wild pass downfield. Dropped and incomplete at the 35 to Kincaid on a dive. Incomplete to Kincaid at the 35 on a dive.
Kevin Harlan on a Westwood 1. Josh Allen under duress, throwing up a prayer. Dalton Kincaid almost answered it with a diving catch. Second 4th down failure of the 4th for Buffalo. The Chiefs didn't give the ball back, closing out a 32-29 win to make their 3rd straight Super Bowl for the Bills. It's their 4th postseason loss to KC since 2021. Kincaid wishes he could have done more.
Josh made a hell of an attempt just to get the ball up there, and just sucks a lot not being able to bring it down.
Had Kincaid made the play, the Bills would have been nearing inside field goal range with 100 seconds left and multiple timeouts. But it's the Chiefs who win their 9th consecutive playoff game, their 17th one-score game in a row. Patrick Mahomes accounting for 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts accounted for 4 in the Eagles' 55-23 rout of the
Commanders.
Those are the most points anyone has scored in a conference title game ever. It included 7 rushing touchdowns. Hurts had 3 of them. Here's his head coach, Nick Sirianni.
It's amazing how much doubt there is sometimes. I can't quite comprehend it because, it doesn't look like people think it should look like. But the guy has been clutch. He's won a ton of football games. But you ran for this many yards. We don't care how we win.
This will be their 2nd Super Bowl in 3 years. Saquon Barkley goes to his first after 15 carries, 118 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Can I tell you one reason I should probably be an Eagles assistant coach? I saw the fake punt coming from 10 miles away. Did you guys see that too? I'm like, we're 32 seconds into the 35. They're not punting. They're clearly trying something tricky. Right? Did anyone else see that fake punt coming? It was the best throw of the day, by the way, by Tress Way.
As it kept going on, it's like they're not snapping the ball.
They're not snapping the ball. Like something's going on.
Everyone's visualizing it or really making sure, are we really doing this right now? And it's like
it was the weirdest play I've ever seen because I'm like, well, they're not snapping the ball. They're clearly doing a fake. I don't know what they could have done. It was a beautiful throw and a beautiful catch. But that made the game kind of interesting for a minute.
Definitely.
We've got coaching news this morning. The Seahawks are hiring Saints offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak for that same position. This means New Orleans will need a 3rd OC in as many seasons. And Penn State is hiring Ohio State D coordinator Jim Knowles for that same position. He'll reportedly be the highest paid coordinator in the nation at $3.1 million annually.
Explain, Andrew Bogusch.
I can't. Just
what
like Notre Dame
here?
losing multiple O-linemen. I guess somebody... At some point, there's not enough cash.
So it came down to money.
Has to.
That's a big deal.
But when does it ever come down to money with Ohio State?
I don't know. That's exactly my point. And also, as far as Jim Knowles, does he have a better chance to win at Ohio State?
Well, maybe he
just
got his feels
ring?
like he won, so now he can move on. I guess maybe here's the thing. Now the money's got to go to the players. If you're a collective or you're the school or whatever, and you're trying to divvy up some pie, is it like, well, do we need our defense coordinator? Do we actually need a defense? Is this what we're seeing?
Well, I mean, Ohio State's going to pay the players anyway. So there's no more money, or there's still tons and tons of money for them.
Oh, I would assume that there's as much money as they possibly need. You're going to get at Ohio State for the coaching staff, which
right, and the players.
Well, we'll see what happens with this court case and whether or not they're going to get this sort of revenue share.
And even if there is a revenue share, they'll pile money on top of that revenue share and get more talent than anybody.
Yeah, this was bizarre to me. And also, who said that he wasn't at the parade?
Me. Yeah, he wasn't at the parade, which I thought was a little weird.
That makes you think that this was not that amicable.
Yeah, and then ESPN reported that Ohio State had extended an offer to Knowles that would have made him the highest paid coordinator in the country. I don't know if it was 3 whatever million, but it would have been more than the 2.5 that Wink Martindale and Blake Baker make. So, I mean, was he quabbling over $200,000? Like, where was the issue here? Something seems off to me.
By the way, not to dunk on Penn State, but I mean, you've had great defensive coaches. Maybe bring in a better offensive coach.
They love their offensive coach, Coltonicki.
Yeah,
they think that guy walks on water.
I know, but Aller threw for 120 yards. I don't look at this team and be like, oh, they're a defensive coordinator away from winning it all.
I love how Perloff's trying to get full credit for spotting an Eagles fake punt that everyone in the world also spotted.
Oh, right. I said it as if, did you guys notice it too?
I posted it on Twitter. So I was like, how did they not see the fake coming? I feel like I played Madden enough to know that, yep, this is where the fake comes. And then there it was.
Can I do my Berman doing that highlight, which I saw? Trust no way with the pass.
No way, that's all we're getting?
That's what he did. That's literally what Berman did. I noticed it. Yeah. I didn't make that one up. That was him.
Better get his two-way authentication ready.
Yeah.
Perloff's coming.
Yeah. Say you better buy your wife some flowers.
This is like Shohei's interpreter who's pretending to be Shohei Ohtani to rob him of millions and
Here's
millions
money,
of dollars.
sir.
Just bilk him out of tons of money.
I see,
Berman
too.
better watch his accounts.
Curious George Karlaftis.
He's not a mobster.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's a football mobster. He's a made
not Chris
man.
Bermione. He's not working in Jersey in waste management.
Curious.
The NBA was smart.
Sinister Chris Berman would just be the best. Like in real life, he's just Tony Soprano.
He'd just be the Penguin. He'd just be literally that character.
Imagine that. It's just he's out here just wreaking havoc. He's like presiding over some kind of drug ring, prostitutes, the whole deal.
I think you guys are actually a little blown away because it's not as bad as most of my impressions. You don't even know how to handle this.
It is.
We don't know how to handle it. That's true, but I don't think for the reason you just stated.
You know what we're doing? It's like, did you see yesterday during the Bills-Chiefs game, they brought Gene Steratore on camera, okay?
Yeah.
And they asked him, so what do you think about replay assist? And he was like, I get it. We want to get it right, but I don't love it. Pause. Romo goes, okay. That's how we feel after your impersonations. Not really sure what to say.
Oh, come on. That was overly mean. I know you're lost for your team, but let's be nice here. I'm trying.
That's not helping either. You trying hard is also not making this any better. This is the one part where maybe more effort is not the answer. That's okay. Your team's going to the Super Bowl. My team's not.
Oh. Where we're going to face Curious George Karlaftis. Oh, yeah.
Not if I knock them all first.
Yeah. Cement shoes.
The NBA was smart. Just one game on the schedule yesterday competing with the NFL, but that game did feature one of the best the association has to offer.
Sean Gilgeous-Alexander.
Whom?
Sean Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh,
Sean Gilgeous-Alexander had 35 points for the Thunder in their 118-108 win in Portland.
Who the hell is that?
Yeah, doesn't he mean Shy Gilgeous-Alexander?
How do we have two people work here who have messed up this name?
And only one of them is going to be a GM of a professional football team.
No. Congratulations to Peter, by the way. He's going to be the GM for some. It's not Arena League, is it?
It's inside, but it's not the Arena League.
Sorry, it's a different Arena League. It's like a 7-on-7, I think. No punts, no kicks. I think it's all offense. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. It could be affordable for families. Take their kids.
You don't need to be nice. We have one Arena Football League. That's probably one too many.
I didn't even know that was still up and running.
This is the one in the mall in New Jersey?
I don't think so.
No, I think this is going to be at the Coliseum.
I thought this was the real Arena League. This isn't even the real Arena League.
No, it's a different one. But by the way, it's possible we might get Andre Reed on to talk about this league.
Oh,
so
then we'll
we
love
do.
it.
No jokes.
Wait,
all right, guys? Don't embarrass me.
This is definitely the one that had their Super Bowl in the mall. I remember this game.
Jeff Fisher came last year to talk to us about it.
No, I think that's a different league.
It was a different league.
Oh,
That's this one we're talking about.
Oh, I thought that was the official league. My bad.
Yeah. The guy actually caught the winning touchdown in a Cinnabon.
Like he had a Cinnabon in his hand and he squeezed him around the ball? Or he was
his momentum carried him out of bounds straight over the counter into the Cinnabon. It was the most delicious touchdown of all time.
It was the Philadelphia Soul against the New York Dragons.
And Saul Goodman was at the register.
It was like the Philadelphia Foot Lockers versus the New Jersey Kay's Jewelers.
Yeah, you got to find which mall store would have the best athletes. Definitely the Foot Locker.
Got to be Foot Locker. Just the footwear alone, they puts them in front of the game.
I don't think those guys are passing drug tests, though. That's the problem.
There is no more collection of
You're not talking about steroids.
Oh, no, not the steroid side, not the performance enhancing.
Yeah, so just for the record...
Who's got the highest employees in the mall? Now that is a photo finish.
I don't know, the pizza shop.
Oh my God. The Sbarros in the mall, no one is straight.
Hot topic, though, that I think they're winning.
Remember Spencer Gifts?
Yeah, remember, that still exists.
Really?
No, it doesn't.
I would bet money that the mall by me in Long Island has a Spencer Gifts.
It smelled weird in there.
You know what you can get at Spencer's?
We know.
Oh, they sell bongs. Not when I was a kid. They didn't have bongs.
It's just a bunch of posters that under a black light have like mushrooms on them. Bless those people.
It's a couple of skimpy outfits as well.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, they sell costumes. Let's put it that way.
They also sell T-shirts that say like I'm not as think as you drunk I am. Stuff like that.
Correct.
Yeah, they're winning this. They're winning this one.
I swear to drunk, I'm not God.
Do you remember as kids? You guys might have missed this. We got to go to break. But those pictures, the seeing eye pictures, we had to stare at them.
Yeah.
And the longer you did, like something would come out.
Yes, at Spencer's Gifts.
Spencer Gifts. Got to be super high.
Well, this is where Peter Schwartz is going to be scouting for his next tight end.
At the mall. All right, well, we blew that update because we got off topic. Are we letting Josh Allen off the hook? 855-212-4227. Let us know what you think. We're back in a minute.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, Super Bowl set. Chiefs, Eagles get a rematch of what was a really entertaining game. It's just a game I don't think anyone wanted a sequel to. But as long as we get a good game in the Super Bowl, that's important. Close game, fourth quarter. These two teams can deliver on that.
Well, actually, let me ask you a question. Having seen both games on Sunday, what matchup would you have wanted to see ideally? Would you want to see Eagles-Bills or Bills-Commanders?
I mean, I wanted Bills-Commanders just because let's really cycle out some new blood here, get some new names and new faces into this big game.
I think in reality, though, Bills-Eagles would have been epic. That would have been a great matchup. I think I don't know, the Commanders are not ready. I mean, look at their Commanders roster. That was also supposed to be a rebuilding year. I don't think they would have. I mean, it probably could have been Chiefs-Commanders. The Chiefs definitely would have won that game.
I think so. Cody is in California. Good morning, Cody.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's on your mind, pal?
Hey, I was just going to talk about that Dalton Kincaid catch at the end. Well, it wasn't a catch, but it should have been. I don't know if you guys also noticed, but the ref threw a flag during that play and later picked it up. If he would have caught that, you guys think it would have been a controversial call?
You know, it's so funny, Cody, and I'm glad you brought it up. We were talking about it. Jim Nantz clearly says there's a flag on the field. There's a flag on the field.
Well, I don't know if he said on the field. He said there's a flag.
Okay, well, where else would it be?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe the flag was in the script and it wasn't on the field.
Cody, I don't know. Listen, do you think if Dalton Kincaid would have caught that, you think they still would have called some kind of defensive pass interference, some kind of holding call on the Bills? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Offensive.
What would have happened?
Offensive pass interference.
Yeah, I'm sorry, offensive pass interference. I think the referees would have called anything at any time. I don't think they would have cared. Listen, I'm not saying that you got to call the game that's on the field, right? But I think that the benefit of the doubt clearly goes to the Chiefs in that situation, if you're asking me.
It was just interesting to me. I seen that and I was like, that's kind of suspicious.
You know, the other part, though, and Cody, thank you for the phone call. Let's play this out like it is a script. Do you let Dalton Kincaid have that catch so that you set up a game-tying field goal potentially?
Of course.
Yeah,
Wait,
right.
why?
That's the maximum drama.
Or the Bills, and honestly, one thing, game-tying field goal or go-ahead touchdown, you still have Patrick Mahomes with some time. If Patrick Mahomes had 30 seconds left and it was a tie game, would you even watch the last 30 seconds? Because you know what would happen.
Oh, man. Reed's in Indianapolis has a question we were all asking ourselves yesterday watching the Eagles-Commanders game. What's up, Reed?
Hey, kids, how you guys doing today? I know you guys are doing fine. But when the Commanders kept going outside yesterday, that game, did the referee say if they keep doing it, they can award them a score?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Reed, I think we all kind of found out about that together. It was, who was it, Pereira on the Fox call?
Who actually said it before the officials, which great call by him.
Well, that's weird. Was they going to award, the 2-point score or what? I mean, I've never heard of them awarding a team a score
touchdown.
For a penalty.
Yeah, it was going to be a touchdown, Reed, and I think it was, and thank you for the call, they were going to call it like a personal, they were calling it like a personal foul, and they can award a touchdown because the Commanders were trying to get a jump on the tush push, and they kept jumping over the line or encroachment, and the ball kept inching up to the goal line.
Right. There was nowhere to move the ball forward. at a certain point, it does make sense. Otherwise, a team could do that 45 times in a row till they get a false start.
Who are you blaming for the Bills falling short yet again to the Kansas City Chiefs? Is Josh Allen not getting the smoke that he deserves? Get to all that next. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Andrew Perloff loves his turtle, call it chill shot bliss. He feeds it kale and lettuce, then gives it a little kiss. Andrew Bogusch's turtles got a mansion in the tank with a slide, a tiny hammock, and a treasure chest bank. Two-tone Tony rolls in, his turtles got swag, cruising slow but steady, repping that reptile flag. Meanwhile, Kevin LaMelle's got tacos on his plate. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he's got no time to wait. Turtle love, taco dreams, Andrew and Andrew living supreme. Two-ton Tony, slow and steady crew. Kevin's got breakfast tacos, what's Peter gonna do? Yo, Perloff's turtles chillin', basking in the heat. Bogusch's turtles flexing, got gold chains on its feet. Tony's turtles on TikTok, racking up views, while Kevin's tacos sizzle, serving up the news. But Pilates MIA, not a damn thing new. Work? Nah, he'd rather just hit snooze. We're out here hustling, making turtles the stars, and Pete's just ghosting like he's hanging on Mars. Turtle love, taco dreams, Andrew and Andrew living supreme. Two-ton Tony, slow and steady crew. Kevin's got breakfast tacos, what's Peter gonna do? Yo, Perloff's turtle spotlight, tacos taking the stage, while Pilates excuses keep showing his age. Perloff's turtles named LeBron, Bogusch calls his taco just for the show. Tony's turtles trained in breaking the mold. Kevin's got a taco so spicy it's gold. And Pete, yeah, fuck that guy, still a no-show. The legend of Pilates always laying low. Turtle love, taco dreams, Andrew and Andrew living supreme. Two-ton Tony, slow and steady crew. Kevin's got breakfast tacos, what's Peter gonna do? So here's to Turtles tacos and the crew on the grind, except for Pilates, who's always lagging behind. Perloff, Bogusch, Tony, Kevin, y'all are the best, but Peter Pilates, man, he's failed the test.
Okay. This is Andrew Perloff with a sports.
Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
First down play. Mahomes keeps it on an RPO at the 5. Gets a lead block. He goes into the end zone near side. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes, a 16-yard run. His second rushing touchdown of the game.
Chiefs Radio, Chiefs going to the Super Bowl, Chiefs world, we're all living in it. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. And you got to credit the Chiefs, Pearl. It's a devastating day for me as a Buffalo Bills fan, and everyone can drink my tears because they are here. But the Chiefs save their best moments for the biggest moments.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, we can talk about the refs giving him calls. We can talk about, every little advantage that goes the Chiefs' way. So many times getting these AFC Championship games at home, getting the home cooking. We can talk about the talent on the roster. What's the bottom line? The bottom line is that I think the Bills got tight. The Bills got away from what they do, and the Chiefs never got away from what they do. In fact, they added to what they do. We had not seen Patrick Mahomes really running like that this season. Yeah, we've seen it in seasons past, but what he did last night and those 2 rushing touchdowns, I mean, that was vintage Mahomes.
I'll say one thing, and I'm looking ahead to the Super Bowl matchup with the Eagles. Kansas City has a lot of plays around the line of scrimmage. Like, they need to execute a lot of plays without fumbling, and they did it yesterday, but I got to tell you, I don't think they have the same exact strategy because you didn't have the killers on Buffalo's defense that you have on the Eagles. You don't have Jalen Carter.
Right.
You don't have all these strip sack guys. I wonder if Buffalo just didn't really have the defense to cause problems for Kansas City. Because the reason, when the NFL changed and everyone went into this deep cover 2 where all the safeties are back and they're like, you're not going to beat us with a long pass. A lot of teams were chipped down the field, but eventually they make a massive mistake. The difference is the Chiefs never make that mistake. You were probably waiting for it all game yesterday. Do they ever screw up?
No, I mean, they got lucky even that they did get one fumble that Mahomes ended up coughing up, and it did lead to a score. So that was huge for them. But, the Bills' defense had kind of lived on takeaways this year because they're not as big as everyone else. Everyone talks about how small they are, and they're just not as talented, right? And yesterday they end up getting a bad injury to Christian Bedford, who was in concussion protocol all week long, and he gets knocked out of the game, and he really got knocked out of the game, needed help getting into the locker room. And so you feel for him, but that's how they were able to equalize these things, right? They were able to get turnovers, but with a team like the Chiefs, you can't count on something like that. And
I do think Vic Fangio, the Eagles defense coordinator, is going to try and hit Mahomes, and he's going to try to. I bet you
you can touch him if you can get to him.
I'll bet you that they tell the Chiefs, beat us long. We're not going to give you all these little crossers.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, 855-212-4227. Trying to figure out sort of who to blame because this is another one-score game, another one-score loss for Buffalo. 0-4 now against the Chiefs in the playoffs. I mean, Josh Allen is 7-2 in the playoffs against everyone else and 0-4 against the Chiefs. And you saw the sort of similar things that happen when the Bills and Chiefs get into these tussles. And what happens is it usually comes down to a final drive or fourth quarter, and the Bills either go away from what they're doing, suddenly take risks that they hadn't taken all game or something. And in my opinion, what happened was 2 things. One, they got a really bad call when Josh Allen had a QB sneak on a 4th and 1 early in the fourth quarter, and he appeared to pick up the first down. They didn't give it to him on the field, do the whole replay thing. The call stands. They turn over on downs. Chiefs go down and score a touchdown. They take the lead. Never gave it back. The game was tied at one point.
Actually, they did.
But never
trailed.
Never trailed. Thank you. And then the other part is that when the Bills get the ball with 3:33 left in the game in a tie game, they went away from what had been working, which is James Cook. You had 3:33 on the clock with 3 timeouts. Run the offense. And they couldn't even get to midfield. And the thing is people will talk about, the Josh Allen, the 4th and 1. Let's be honest. The play before that was terrible too. Well, you're running tight end screens to Dawson Knox in that instance on a 3rd and 3.
No, I
didn't love it. I didn't love it.
Yeah, I mean, that works a lot, though. I was surprised that play got blown up so badly because I think what happened was the Chiefs kept creeping up because the Bills just did not want to throw the ball downfield.
No, a couple explosive plays, one to Shakir, one to Mac Hollins, but not much.
No, I think it eventually. I don't know if you can win like that. The Chiefs and the Bills are trying, but they were so both teams were non-aggressive. I don't know how the score got up to 32-29 because nobody threw the ball ever. So that was interesting to me. There was when did that pass that went out to Curtis Samuel in the flat and it was just a little bit short? Was that on the last drive?
Yes.
I mean, that was a good play call.
Yeah, I mean the throw was low.
That
was 2nd and 10 with 2:21 left.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't, and you were blaming the play calling for not going to James Cook. That was designed for a 30-yard gain. That would have put them right into field goal.
Well, then you fall into the camp with EJ, who blames Josh Allen for not being able to get into field goal range.
That was a bit of a weak drive, I have to admit. And honestly, I thought Josh Allen would use his legs. He just had a 17-yard run the play before.
13-yard run.
13-yard run. This is usually when you have a really good quarterback. I'm not blaming Allen like EJ, but it's really hard to stop a mobile quarterback in this spot. That's why Jaden Daniels wins every close game, because you can't stop him on 4th down. They really, I'm sorry to say this, but they really should have gotten into field goal range.
You think? You think. Meanwhile, it was the last play of the game, or the last play of Buffalo's offensive drive, which is a 4th and a prayer to Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
Josh gets flushed out to the right, had Khalil Shakir open to the left, but wouldn't have been able to make that throw, I don't think. If they could have picked up a 4th and 25 if he had been able to make that throw. It was a 4th and 5. He throws it, heaves it up for Dalton Kincaid. It goes through Kincaid's hands, and that was right at the field goal target line.
Well, I think
it would have been first down.
That's not exactly an accurate description. If you didn't see the play and you think that he went through Kincaid's hands, it wasn't like
What else would you call it?
Well, first of all, it was a miracle that Josh Allen saw Dalton Kincaid. I don't even know if he did see him. He was about to get sacked. He threw the ball up in the air, and everybody, both teams got disoriented. They didn't know where the ball was. Finally, Kincaid spotted it and dove for the ball.
Yep.
It would have been a diving catch that was not even, I don't even know if the pass was to him. It wasn't like he dropped it. I don't think. I mean, I don't think that would qualify as the stat drop.
Well, and I don't know. I mean, what do they say when it touches the receiver's hands? But I get.
Oh my God, he was
Kincaid had to
diving.
come back to it. I understand.
He was full on extended on the dive, and he's a tight end. He's not DeAndre Hopkins.
I get it, but at the same time, I mean, that's just one, and that was just the last thing that you saw. But meanwhile, I mean, you just have to start wondering, if not now, when? If you're a Bills fan. I know Andrew in Pennsylvania wants to compare this Mahomes and Allen matchup to another all-time great matchup. What's up, Andrew? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Maggie and Perloff. How y'all doing today?
Been better.
Yeah, I hear you. I was rooting hard for you last night. Definitely not a Chiefs fan. Perloff, no offense, not an Eagles fan either. I'm from Texas originally, so I'm a Cowboys fan to my chagrin.
We'll get into your news a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. But anyway, Saquon Barkley, he's having a tremendous year. He seems like a man on a mission. But I just began to think last night watching this game, is Patrick Mahomes to Josh Allen what Tom Brady was to Peyton Manning for all those years? And love your thoughts on that. And just wondering, at some point, does Josh Allen break through? Because Peyton struggled, off and on against Brady, and that was his nemesis. But he did finally break through, won a Super Bowl with the Colts. Later won with another team. I'm sure, Maggie, you hope Josh Allen doesn't go and win one with another team. But just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Well, Andrew, thank you for the call. And yeah, I mean, my biggest fears is kind of like a rotating sort of like buffet, if you will. It's like seasonal buffet. One big fear I have is that Josh Allen's actually going to be the steps of like a Matthew Stafford, where he's not going to be able to break through, and then at the end of his career, he's going to go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl, and that's a huge fear.
Yeah, because Stafford was exactly like Josh Allen, getting to the title games all the time and losing. Matthew Stafford got to 2 playoff games in his entire stint in Detroit. Buffalo is at the brink of a Super Bowl every year practically. They're totally different, but go ahead.
But it wouldn't make it any less painful, right? To see someone go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. But anyway, we're kind of far from that one. So let's keep the fears. Let's keep the main thing. If you're going to be the Peyton Manning in this scenario, then you've got to break through and win one.
Yeah, which will happen.
It's tough for you to ask me that today.
The Bills got to load up on talent. I'm serious.
Good call.
Like they tried to when they got Von Miller a couple years ago. They need to, and Brandon Beane's supposed to be this great GM. Like they need more talent.
Well,
they need to overwhelm the Ravens and the Chiefs.
To be fair, this was like a mini rebuild for them.
Yeah.
And they made it to the AFC Championship game and had a tie game with 3:30 left to go.
You could say that was very encouraging because you're right. It's a rebuild, meaning that they're going to get better. I don't know how many years James Cook can do this much heavy lifting, but Josh Allen's 28 years old. He's going to have a ton of opportunities. And the Chiefs are about possibly to three-peat, but they can't win every field goal playoff game for the rest of the time. Tom Brady couldn't. Tom Brady lost just as many close playoff games as he won.
But here's the thing. The Chiefs are already doing something that Tom Brady never did. They actually made it back to the Super Bowl to even attempt a three-peat. Brady never even got that opportunity.
But if
they're rewriting the history books in front of us.
But of all these close games, eventually Brady lost them. Eventually David Tyree caught a ball in his helmet. Eventually Nick Foles caught a Philly special. Like eventually somebody's going to break through and be on the right side of a field goal game. It just doesn't. It's impossible to sustain this many close wins. I'm telling you.
But they keep doing it.
They've won two. They've won two in a row. Yeah.
They've won three, all told, in this Mahomes era.
Yeah, I mean, and Tom Brady won 7. I'm just telling you that they can't. They might even three-peat, but eventually they're going to lose a field goal playoff game, like they did at Cincinnati. I mean, it's going to happen.
Oh, man. Phil is in Pennsylvania, not happy with Perloff this morning. Congratulations, Phil. Your Birds are going to the Super Bowl. Why are you mad at Perloff?
Because I deliberately didn't call for these playoffs, just letting, Perloff dig his own grave. It's just wrong how he, claims to be a diehard Philly fan, but it's just, he picks everyone else, maybe not to win, but he should have picked, the Eagles to cover.
Phil, only reason the Eagles are advancing the Super Bowl is because I was negative about them. That is how the universe works. That is karma. Look it up.
Well, the thing is, I do work for the federal government, and you guys inspired me last week, with the whole, different name topic. So, Andrew, I actually looked up your proper name that your parents were originally going to give you. Your full name is Andrew Fairweather Philly Fan, Pathetic Plant-Based Perloff.
Plant-based? Why plant-based?
You're plant-based. You are weak. You do not have any sustenance to you. You change with the direction of the wind.
Go Birds! Phil, whoa. You really took him out there.
That's a mouthful, dude.
If you continue to be plant-based and the Eagles win, you cannot claim it. In fact, as an agent of the federal government, I am going to revoke your Philly fan card.
Phil, I could care less.
Sounds official to me.
Turn around. You need to have the eye of the tiger. You need to rewatch all the Rocky movies. You need to get inspired.
Nope. I don't care. Honestly, I could care less. Revoke my Philly fan. I am not going to change directions and be optimistic about this Eagles team. We got here by me being negative. It's how.
Well, you need to remove the Die Hard, moniker next to your name at least.
Fine. I don't care. Call me whatever you want.
You're not allowed to call
Tell
me
me I
Die
meet.
Hard. You can call him plant-based Eagles fan.
Say I go down to New Orleans and eat fake burgers. I don't care. If the Eagles win, then Phil, you can officially revoke my card. I do not care.
Perloff is doing that thing where he's like the "you'll thank me later," right? Like he feels like he's taking one for the team in terms of all Eagles fans by being negative because he's superstitious. Phil,
I can understand that. But, you need to let, people know that in advance that we're not, taken away. But you know what?
Phil, if I let people know in advance, then it doesn't work.
Well, the cat's out of the bag now, Perloff.
I know, you're screwing. Phil, you're making me expose my cards. I can't believe you're doing this. You're ruining the Eagles' chances to beat the Chiefs. By the way,
Phil, do you really have access to our information as an agent of the federal government?
I do work for the federal government, but what I do is, privileged information.
Oh, boy. By the way, Phil.
I want to stay on your good side,
okay.
Phil. I always believed in the Eagles. I laid the points.
I'm going to overlook.
I
I'm going to overlook this, Phil, for 1 second. How excited are you in real life?
Well, I am actually really excited because the last time the Eagles won, they broke up a dynasty, and they're going to do it the same again this time.
Phil, if you find yourself in New Orleans, we'll be able to spot you because of the blue hair, but come over and say hi.
Go Birds! I actually know someone that has season tickets that if they get chosen for the lottery, they're going to sell me their tickets. So hopefully that works out.
Oh, man, that would be really cool. Phil, thanks for calling in. Anyone's always welcome to call out Perloff. I mean, that's all those calls are welcome because you are fair weather. I see what you're doing this time. You're trying to like shroud yourself in barbed wire and kind of like do this negative thing, but to counteract like the Eagles' positivity, I guess. But you are a fair weather fan.
I am a fair weather fan, usually, but not for the Eagles. I have to be honest. I made a financial investment into the Eagles winning.
Wow.
Like a big one.
Okay.
Like you're paying for dinner in New Orleans.
Like, uh-oh.
Like
if you lose, do you have to explain this to Sarah, like in a delicate way?
It's actually, I regretted it afterwards, but I put a significant chunk of emotional hedge on the money line for Washington. Significant. For me.
Wow.
Well into the three figures.
Wait a minute. What? Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, I can't. I actually said this. Like, I'm like, the Eagles are this close, and they're at home playing a team that really shouldn't be here. They're
You're ahead of schedule.
If they're going to lose this game, then I'm going to walk away with a big amount of money to hedge the emotional trauma. Because this was an impossible game for the Eagles because they really couldn't afford to lose this game. I mean, this was not like your Bills where you're going against the Chiefs. They're facing a Commanders team with a rookie quarterback who is at least a year away. This would not. I could not have handled. You know that I could not have handled a loss here. I would have melted. At least I would have walked away with a lot of money. So now
you're playing a little catch up?
Now we're going to Taco Bell on Super Bowl week.
Great. My favorite restaurant. Let's go to Jeff is in Tucson. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Maggie. What's going on, Perloff?
What's up?
So I'm to answer your question. First of all, who do we hand this loss to on the Bills? I'm going to hand the loss to the offensive coordinator. That's the first thing.
Yeah, he got out-coached big time.
Okay.
Wait. For being too conservative, not conservative enough, going away from the run, what for?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario that I know Maggie heard this. Tony Romo, when the Chiefs had the ball, they're running out the clock at the end. Romo said before the play happened, if I'm the quarterback, if I'm the coach, I want the ball in my quarterback's hands at the end of the game for him to make a decision. So we watched twice him roll out and throw a little small pass, RPO, and they got first downs and ended the game. Now, all these fourth down scenarios that Josh Allen went for, and the ball was in his hand going crunch into the line instead of him rolling out, giving him an option to run or pass the ball to Cook. So that was my take on that. My third take is this. I have a question for you could throw out there. What do the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs have in common yesterday?
What?
What do the Eagles
home field advantage
have
in common yesterday, other than home field advantage that had a bearing on the game?
We both had Andy Reid as the coach?
No.
Jeff.
Tell us.
Both quarterbacks on the winning team scored how many touchdowns?
2?
3?
Exactly.
Which one?
2. It was 2. Both quarterbacks.
Well, Mahomes had 2 rushing touchdowns and had a passing. You're talking about rushing touchdowns.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Jalen Hurts actually, did he have 3 rushing touchdowns?
I thought he had 3.
He did. So at least 2. At least 2.
He's had 2. Okay, so,
Yeah.
in a non-betting world, if you combine 2 touchdowns from Hurts, 2 touchdowns from Mahomes, 2 touchdowns plus for, what's the Philly guy?
Saquon Barkley.
And you throw in 1 wide receiver on Washington that always scores a touchdown, who is McLaren,
Yeah.
right? Boy, do you win a lot of money.
Oh, Jeff, look at you with your parlays.
Man, I'm
Nice.
not even going to tell you, but that was a 5-figure win with less than $100 put on it.
Wow, Jeff.
Nice, dude.
Amazing. I'm glad somebody came out a winner yesterday. Drive safely out there, pal. Yeah, Jalen Hurts had 3 rushing touchdowns, and Patrick Mahomes had 2.
That was a funny moment. He goes, "What do the two quarterbacks have in common? How many touchdowns did they score?" And I said 3, and you said 2, and he goes, "Exactly."
Nailed
2,
it.
3, exactly. I'm like, what?
Adrian's in Maryland. What's up, Adrian?
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Hey, let's not get too emotional over Josh Allen. I think the critical play in that game was when we didn't know if it was an interception. I thought it had to be an interception or an incomplete pass on that play.
Yeah.
So that kind of
Adrian, you're talking about whether it was Xavier Worthy or Cole Bishop who came down with either the interception or the catch. You're right. It was either incomplete or interception. I don't know how in this world, in this NFL world that we currently occupy, that's never a catch. It's not a catch in week 1, and it's not a catch in the AFC Championship game.
Right, and it benefited Kansas City, and it would have benefited Buffalo if it was incomplete. So that's where I think. I don't think the spot of the ball. One ref was over the first down line, and the other one was behind it. I was like, Josh Allen's got to give the ball to the referee that's farthest from him because he did have the first down, but he always gives it to the closest referee. Also, Maggie, we called it. Commanders, if they're not gifted any turnovers, they're going to lose, and I said they'll lose by 10, more than 10, and we both said that. Perloff didn't believe it, but it all comes true, right?
I mean, it's just unfortunate for the Commanders. Listen, if you're a Commander fan,
The Commanders.
Adrian, thanks so much for the call, dude. Always on point, but you're ahead of the game here.
Way ahead of the game.
Yeah, nobody expected you to be in the NFC Championship game, but that is a painful way to lose because you didn't do any of the things that got you there, you know?
Well, I mean, offensively, they kind of did.
But the fumbles, just brutal. You can't turn the ball over like that on the road in a game this big. Like, the Eagles will make you pay, and they did.
Yeah, 3 fumbles is way too much to overcome. I just think Jay Daniels is going to be great. I don't know what the player comp is. He feels like he's a little different than like Lamar Jackson. He's got some of his speed, but he's a steadier, short passing quarterback. I'm dying to see what happens next. And I got to be honest, I'm an Eagles fan. Manny's a Giants fan. Like, this is going to be tough on the NFC East for a long time.
855-212-4227. Doling out some blame pie here. Who deserves it on the Bills side? We get back to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Back on Maggie and Perloff, breaking down the NFC and AFC title game. You got a happy Perloff, a despondent Maggie, trying to just get through the morning, Mags.
Yeah, it's trying to pick up the pieces, focus on the real things that matter in life, like family and friends and...
Oh, get out of here.
I don't know.
Don't even try and sell that here. We know you too well.
I mean, it's a lot of darkness. I'm not going to lie.
Your family and friends are all depressed.
Well, I'm trying to keep a positive... Well, not positive necessarily, but I'm trying to keep a good attitude on this, which is, well, I'm not really sure yet, but... Your
good attitude is, I'm terrified Josh Allen's going to leave and Sean McDermott's got to go, so find someone who can beat Andy Reid?
Yeah, kind of. You know, again, our pal Zach Gelb thinks that that the Bills should go hard after Bill Belichick, try to pry him out of North Carolina to try to get somebody who could finally beat Andy Reid. The problem is Belichick really 1-1 against it. Oh, no. It was Doug Peterson, I guess, who beat them in the Super Bowl. So he is 1-0 against Andy Reid in Super Bowls.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I don't know where they turn. You know, I wanted them to go hard after Jim Harbaugh. That never happened. Listen, it feels weird to say you want to fire somebody when you just lost another one-score game in the AFC Championship game, but I think the coaching staff is the one with all the regrets here today. I know EJ says that this should go more on Josh Allen than we're putting it on Allen because you do have the ball in your hands. Like, you have to get to at least field goal range, at least give your team a chance. But I thought the play calling was not right. They went away from James Cook in that final drive, and it was stupid.
I think they did as good as you could do. You have to be able to. They couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes. I mean, is there any play calling? When it came down to it, at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes was going to score on you. I think the better team won.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They forced 2 punts coming out of halftime. And yes, they didn't stop Patrick Mahomes, but they held him to a field goal when they needed to. You know, they had 1st and goal, and the Bills ended up holding the Chiefs to a field goal there to make the score 32-29. That's holding them.
Yeah, I was shocked.
That is giving your offense the best chance, and they went away from everything that got them there.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs did score 32 points and possess the ball a lot. I mean, the defense really did not have a lot of success. The Chiefs weren't trying to blitz down the field. Both teams were trying to control the clock, and I think the Chiefs did a little better job.
Man, if you look at the stats in this game, actually, when I tell you how close this is,
the Bills, did win the battle of the clock
by 30 seconds, basically, or by about a minute.
Didn't feel like the Chiefs had a little more control on offense throughout the entire game. I was shocked when the Bills went up 22-21. I actually said to myself, "How did that happen?"
Well, this was really the one key stat, 5 for 9 on 3rd down. I mean, the Bills' defense just could not get the Chiefs off the field.
Yep.
That was a big part of it. Bill is in Arizona. Bill, you've got a bone to pick with the Bills, but maybe for a different reason.
Yeah, hey, Maggie, I called a while ago. They kind of let me down because I was ready to take out a second mortgage and put it against whoever the Bills were playing in the Super Bowl.
Oh, you were just looking forward to betting against the Bills.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
I want to lose 5 times in the Super Bowl.
Man, well, it's that kind of awesome call that I just really appreciate on a day like today, Bill. Thank you. If you couldn't tell that I was dripping with sarcasm.
I think Bill was about to apologize. I think Bill was. I think he was just having a little fun.
No harm, no foul. Bring it on. I deserve all the slings and arrows today. I get it. My team's a loser.
I'm just saying he had his stats right. They are 0-4 in Super Bowls. That's kind of why
they're 0-4 against the Chiefs in the playoffs.
It's kind of why I wanted to see them after the Eagles won the first game. Watching halfway through, I'm like, okay, we need to see the Bills. They're not passing the ball. They don't pass the ball. What kind of NFL team doesn't throw the ball downfield?
I mean, how much were the Chiefs passing the ball?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
But the Chiefs figure it out. They're tough.
Yeah, we know. Barry is in South Jersey, is a happy Eagles fan today. What's up, Bear?
I'm a happy Eagles fan also, and I wanted to get away from the X's and O's for a minute, and firstly give my condolences to you. The Buffalo is my default team after being a Browns fan also for 65 years already. So when I can't root for the Browns, I always go to the Bills. That's
Man, Barry, can I suggest another AFC team for you? You need.
No, you can't, because I've been a Buckeye for so long. It's hard. It's just hard to digress. But one other thing, I really like the format today, taking a lot of calls instead of all the back and forth banter. It gives everybody a chance to vent on both sides of the aisle, so to speak. And thirdly, Perloff, I come across every day in my part-time work a Perloff. He comes across my office, pokes his head in, and says hi. But I'm loath to ask him if he's a relative of yours.
Where do you live, Barry?
I'm in Marlton, New Jersey.
I don't think there are a lot of Perloffs in Philadelphia. I don't think that's a close relative, maybe distant relative, but not. Okay. I don't know anyone in Marlton. I do know Marlton pretty well, but I don't know anyone there.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of you guys, and I just want to say I enjoy your show, and you're entertaining. And Maggie, take it easy. It'll be okay.
Well, can you promise me that, Barry? Can you make that promise?
If I was there, I would give you a hug. I really wanted an Eagles-Buffalo game badly.
Yeah.
I know. So did Perloff, because he thought that he could bet the Eagles and win easily. Barry, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I do appreciate everyone who reached out, social media and otherwise. I mean, the fact that you guys associate me so much with the team, I take as a great compliment. Are there really a lot of Perloffs? Like, I'm calling BS on that. This is not a common name. It's not Rodriguez or Stewart or Gray.
No. For some reason, there's a pocket of Perloffs. They might all be related to us. I'm not really sure. There's several Perloffs in the Philadelphia. I'm not kidding. Everyone's like, "Oh, I met so and so Perloff." I think they're just in Philadelphia.
Sorry, when you said a pocket of Perloffs, like, you know Like when a group of animals is named something, it's not just like a herd, like a gaggle of geese.
A
or
murder
like,
of crows?
Exactly. Or like, I think foxes are like a kit or something. There's like a different name, like a pocket of Perloffs kind of sounded like that.
Okay.
You know? Like that's what they would always call it.
Don't take out your Bills anger on the Perloffs.
You said that it's a common name. I'm like, there's no shot. It's a common name.
Well, and listen, there's hundreds and hundreds in Philadelphia, and I don't know if there are any. I've never met anyone who's not related to me anywhere else.
Yeah, so maybe this is Barry's coworker is one of your relatives.
Maybe it could easily be. We all fled from Ukraine/Russia around the same time.
Same boat.
So I think that basically there was an influx of Perloffs. That being said, the Bills are not the AFC team of the Eagles. I think there's one perfect AFC team that matches the Eagles. If you're an Eagles fan and you don't care about the AFC, what's the team that most reminds you of the Eagles in the AFC? And I have an easy. What do you guys think? Pocket of Perloff.
Nothing's coming to mind. Who is it?
The Jets are the Eagles of the AFC. They're both green. Their fan bases are both insane. Going to the stadium is you take your life in your hands, and they just. I feel like the Jets and they always share personnel.
Small detail.
What's that?
The Eagles go to the playoffs almost every year and have won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years.
Well,
went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
The last 8 years, the Eagles have been much better, but generally. I've always thought, oh my God, I go to a Jets game, I'm like, I'm at an Eagles game. It's the same exact thing.
Fans are angry all the time.
Fans are ridiculously obscene. Yeah, they're both green. They both share personnel a lot. They play every year in the preseason. They're very similar franchises. The Bills and the Eagles are not. The Bills are lovable losers. The Eagles are not.
I think Perloff is right. I agree with him. I think we're getting in the weeds with the recent history, but before Nick Foles came around, I think the Eagles and Jets were very similar.
Let's get to Bogusch. He's got headlines for us. Very, very busy day. What's up?
Maggie, do you know what happened like 34 years ago today?
Oh, don't tell me. Is this going to be as bad as when Jim Nantz brought up that the Bills traded with the Chiefs to give them Patrick Mahomes and then traded with them again in the draft to give them Xavier Worthy? Going to be that level of pain?
I think it's worse than that.
Oh, was it one of their Super Bowl losses?
Was it
Scott Norwood? It's funny, usually a buzzer goes off to all Bills fans to warn yourself to protect yourself on a day like today. Be kind.
No safe spaces.
Bogusch, too. Even you.
Rookie quarterbacks remain bad at making the Super Bowl. Jaden Daniels did not make history yesterday in Philly, but the
Commanders
55-23 loss to the Eagles was barely his fault.
I don't want to have a feeling like this again, but, you got to deal with it and, move on from it.
Daniels threw for 255 yards, 1 touchdown pass, 1 running, 1 pick. It was the last of Washington's 4 giveaways, but the game already decided at that point. The first 3 were fumbles, and all of them led to Eagle touchdowns. Too many mistakes, says Dan Quinn.
It was something we talked about a lot, to winning the turnover margin in this game, and so over 7 weeks, we've been, pretty complimentary in that spot, and this was our first time not doing that.
The Eagles did not turn the ball over once while rushing for 7 touchdowns, 3 apiece for Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. The franchise in its second Super Bowl in 3 years, and they'll see the Chiefs again. KC holding off the Bills 32-29 at Arrowhead in an AFC title game that featured 6 lead changes. Harrison Butker's 35-yard field goal with 3.5 minutes left, and a 4th down stop. That was the difference for KC. 3rd straight Super Bowl appearance, 5th overall now for Travis Kelce.
I'm very thankful that I'm here in Kansas City, playing with the guys and everybody in this building, man. It's a special, special place, and we feel that every single day, and we just try to take advantage of it and not let it slip out of our hands.
Only 2 catches for 19 yards from Kelce yesterday. Patrick Mahomes threw a touchdown to Xavier Worthy instead while running into the Chiefs end the Bills season for the 4th time since 2021 while extending their win streak in 1-score games to an inconceivable 17. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Perloff's like, no, at some point their luck's going to run out. It would have already.
Wow, 17 is a big number.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in 2 weeks it does, but you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to be able to keep winning games like this.
Can I say one thing about Travis Kelce, too? He was blocking like an animal. You have to there was Mahomes' run touchdown. Kelce flattened somebody. He impressed me, by the way. Believe it or not, with 2 catches. Were you worried that he was going to go off at one point?
Well, he averages over 100 yards and basically 2 touchdowns in all the other Bills postseason losses to the Chiefs. So, yeah, I was mildly surprised that he wasn't more involved in the pass game.
Totally give that guy credit. I mean, he's dating a superstar and he blocks like a rookie free agent. I'm a big fan.
New Bears head coach Ben Johnson has decided on his coordinators. Dennis Allen will run the defense, and pre-puberty Declan Doyle is the offensive coordinator.
I think Bogusch is kind of upset about this. 28 years old?
I didn't even know who he was until this morning, and I didn't know how old he was until Perloff mentioned it. So this is all new to me.
The way you said, I don't know, when Pearl, that's how old he was. So funny. I was like, why are you so grumpy?
Well, the first thing we went to Manny, we're like, Manny, you should be doing more with your life because Declan Doyle is now the offensive coordinator of the Bears. That was unfair to Manny.
Yeah, I suck at life. Go ahead.
You're here with us.
Yay.
I do sometimes get a tad bit worried about Manny.
Why?
There's every other day, there's a sentence in the newsroom that I can't tell how really sad it is.
Got an example?
I mean, what he just said. I get that a lot. My life sucks. Why did I wake up? Stuff like that.
Well, we need you. That's why. We can't do the show without you.
1 thumbs up. Just 1, not 2.
Listen, Nick's season is revving up as soon as we get past this Chiefs disastrous Super Bowl.
Eagles disastrous Super Bowl.
I'm sure the Knicks will
I'm sure they won't
deliver
let
happiness.
you down.
Here, I'll make you feel better. What were Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart doing, flirting on social media yesterday? What was that? What was going on?
They were at the Eagles game.
Yeah, so Josh Hart is a big Commanders fan, and he went to the game.
Commanders.
And it's actually funny. Jalen Brunson has Josh Hart's location, and he actually posted a screenshot of Josh Hart leaving South Philadelphia, and Josh Hart responded on Twitter by saying he has to go to bed early because somebody has to play defense tomorrow.
He left the game early.
Pretty
yes,
good.
Josh Hart left the game in the 4th quarter.
Okay.
That line
It's like a
was
reverse Willis Reed.
The Commanders.
No, he wasn't playing. I wouldn't bank on the Knicks. Back to Bogusch.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
I think
See, this is why
trying to cheer
This
him
is
up.
so much Bills angst.
this is why I am the way that I am.
No one's safe.
We got to get Manny a girlfriend. Is that what's going on
maybe
here?
that's
No, we need a therapist. That's what we need.
Maybe she can do both.
I don't think she's allowed to.
Conflict, yeah.
Actually,
those-
scratch that.
Yeah.
Keep those two things
For those
very
listening,
separate.
do not do that with your therapist.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Oh, I was thinking, don't tell your girlfriend all your deep, dark secrets, and don't tell your therapist that you want to date her.
But would you date a random if you met a woman in a bar and she's a therapist, is that an immediate no-go? That'd be interesting because I would be scared to date a therapist, even if it's not my therapist, because they would sort of understand.
Oh, you
know
think
all your
they'd know all your red flags?
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. I always feel like I don't want to judge therapists, but I'm like, why are you single and having issues? I feel like I hear about people who work in psychology, then talk about struggles in their dating life and stuff, and I'm like, aren't you supposed to be helping? I think
why can't you apply the same?
Right, you're not applying it to your own game.
thing.
So to
Well,
speak.
they should probably see a therapist about that.
I will tell you why.
Who do you see?
Well, I think all therapists see therapists.
Mm-hmm. All therapists are crazy. That is
Well,
fact number
that's
one.
what
Being a
I'm wondering
You
about.
don't get into therapy because you're well adjusted. That's just not happening. You become an accountant.
I think
Named John Well.
that's from last week. Oh,
hi guys.
Hi, look at
no.
this.
How you
It's
doing?
former NFL MVP Boomer Esiason has
Yes,
just
well,
walked
good
into our
morning.
studio.
You know, I feel so bad for you this morning.
Thanks, Boom.
And I know that it hurts you because I see you every morning here before we go on the air.
Yeah.
So I did want to present you with a present this morning.
Oh, no.
If you would mind, would you take this Buffalo Bill helmet and keep it?
Yeah.
Oh, you will. Because I didn't want to upset you.
No, this is fantastic. Can I ask you, where did you get this amazing helmet?
I have
Connections. You do.
So, Andrew, I have connections.
This is
Boomer
fantastic.
knows people.
Did Fred Jackson ever touch that?
Oh, if we'd be lucky to. This is
Well,
great. Thank
well,
you.
good, you're very welcome.
Well, I've got my little Bills corner
I
here.
know that, so it needs a helmet.
I
So
just
there you have
need any confirmation. Did the sun come up today?
Yeah, it came up.
It did come up today?
So, Boomer, if the Eagles lose to the Chiefs, do I get an Eagles helmet? Is this how it works?
I do have an Eagles helmet, but it's already spoken for.
Ah.
So Al Dukes, our producer over
Yeah.
at WFAN, wanted the Eagles helmet for his nephew.
Al Dukes' nephew is higher on the power rankings than me?
I'm sorry. I've been working with Al for a
flimsy.
long time, so that, a little bit higher.
Boomer, can I get us words of wisdom here? How do I get over this loss? Thank you for this
There's
helmet.
no way of getting over the loss. I've been there with my New York Rangers hockey team.
Yeah.
So I know it stings and it hurts. but you still got to keep rooting. You got a great quarterback. You're going to be back there for the next, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years. It could be worse. You could be the Jets.
You know what? And suddenly I feel better.
Yeah, there you go.
It's that kind of perspective.
Well, you guys
that
have
I
a great
needed.
day, okay?
Thank you, Booms.
Thank you, Boomer.
Oh, fantastic. Were we able to get that on the live stream? Boomer Esiason just gave me a cool Bills helmet.
That's
this is
so cool.
awesome. I want to put it on, but I don't want my makeup to get it all over it. All right.
I was a little scared seeing you guys react over my shoulder to the door opening. I did not know what's going on.
Yes, the next time if someone barges in, you're on your own.
Yeah, thanks.
How does it look, guys? Does it fit? YouTube.com/InfinitySportsNet, Twitch.
You would not have dropped that ball from Josh Allen like Kincaid did.
It's kind of heavy. This is awesome.
This regulation size?
By the way, I love that Boomer's like, I know exactly what you're going through. When my Rangers lost, I'm like,
I didn't
dude,
say it. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
That's amazing. No, but I know Boomer enough. He is so passionate about the Rangers. I think he meant that.
Of course he did. They lost in the Eastern Conference Final last year. Same spot. Same. They lost to
There you
Seneca
go.
Final recently. They've won one cup since 1940.
Yeah, there's another loss.
Right, and that's the only loss we could have asked him about. Listen, this is awesome. A former league MVP and friend and acquaintance just handed me an awesome Buffalo
The
Bills
shiniest helmet I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's
It
so
glows.
shiny.
It is.
Oh, it feels so good,
There's
guys.
a warning tag that say, don't be a Bills fan.
Thanks for ruining it, Bogusch. All right, we got to take a quick break. Thank you. Coming back, who deserves blame for this Bills loss? I'm not taking it off.
It's so hard to do radio with a helmet on. I've tried so many times.
Hazard of the job. We're back in a minute.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. That was really fun. Former league MVP Boomer Esiason just came in and gave me an authentic Buffalo Bills helmet to try to cheer me up today because my Bills were big losers yesterday.
It's actually really very cool looking. It's gorgeous.
I know. It's beautiful. And it has turned my day, made me feel a little bit better about what happened because thinking about the game makes me feel awful. Let's get to Big Friendly. He's in California. Hey, Big Friendly.
Good morning, Maggie Malone, EJ the EP, 411, Manny De Niro, the one, the only, Daddy Cool. Good morning, and thank you for taking my call.
Man, Manny De Niro is that's it. You nailed it. We finally got it.
Maggie, you might want to put the helmet back on, sweetheart. It's going to be rough.
Hold on one sec. Let me get it.
Oh, boy.
What do you have to say? Lay it on me.
Okay, real quick. I'm going to do this very polite. And Daddy Cool, oh, my man, never mind. So, Maggie, if you ask me, I think the problem with the Bills is the coaching. Now, real quick. Wasn't this the same coach who had a lead with 13 seconds left and lost in overtime?
Big Friendly, why you got to bring up old stuff?
Maggie, I'm just at the customer service desk trying to return some stuff, and I just don't want no flack.
No, the receipts are still good. I know. Josh
Allen, like I told you before, Josh Allen is a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer. Tony Romo said it yesterday in the second half. Why did Buffalo go away from the run? When they were running, the Chiefs really weren't having that great time stopping it. If you understand that you got a running game, that a team is not slowing down, you pound them into submission.
Man, I know, Big Friendly, it was a major mistake. I mean, I said last night the coaching staff should have major regrets after what happened yesterday. Perloff disagrees. He thinks the coaching staff kept them in the game. But they went away from James Cook, and he was exactly what was working for them and opened things up for Josh Allen. Let's not pretend like those two things don't work in concert.
If you're not going to use Josh Allen all game, then expect him to be the hero at the end. I don't know. It's
2024. Allen.
2020. It's 2024. 2025. An NFL quarterback should be able to throw the ball without making you nervous, and he's an MVP candidate. And it's like they were hiding him all game.
Okay, wait a minute. Real quick, Daddy Cool. Let me see you throw the ball accurately with 3 300-pounders coming to eat your lunch. Allen was under duress.
I can't throw it accurately on air, dude, let alone 300 pounders.
Big Friendly, thank you so much for that. I love Drunkle Sam's in our chat. He goes, after a few more years, Maggie can get the entire uniform. Got the Bills helmet on today, a gift from Boomer Esiason. All right, come on back. We have Perloff's Eagles to unpack, and did the Commanders blow a huge chance? Get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Barkley to the left of Hurts on first down. Hurts, quarterback draw. He's at the 5. He is in for the touchdown. Jalen Hurts.
Eagles going to the Super Bowl. They'll face the Chiefs. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Yeah, Jalen Hurts' knee looked better than it has in maybe 2 years. He was supposed to be injured. He looked fine. You have to be feeling pretty confident, Pearl. You're Philadelphia Eagles back to the Super Bowl, and you possibly get some revenge on those Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, you could squint and see this as a better team than the team that lost a close game to the Chiefs. They add Jalen Carter on the front line. He's a weapon that they never had. And, of course, Saquon Barkley. I had a tweet yesterday. I'm starting to rethink my preseason take that using salary cap space on a running back was a mistake.
Want to take that back?
I'm thinking that maybe the Saquon deal was a smart move.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley.
He may go down as one of the greatest athletes in the history of the city. But
I thought you were going to say greatest free agent signing in the history of the NFL. I heard that a lot yesterday. Mm-hmm. I can't argue against it.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to do that as a great debate some other time. But yeah, I think that I think for the Eagles, you do have a better team. I just don't know how anyone is confident going into a game against the Chiefs. I really don't. And I'm not just saying this because my team is the Buffalo Bills and they lost yet again and they're 0-4 now against the Chiefs in this Mahomes, Josh Allen era. But how does anyone walk in and think, oh, I've got the recipe, I've got the formula? You don't. And the reason is because the Chiefs play the best when they need it. And they've got these plays that I think they really keep all year long. Mm-hmm. And I think Steve Spagnuolo, not to just flip and make this about the AFC right now, but there was a 4th and 5 that felt like not the ball game, but pretty close. And the Chiefs snuffed out a Bills drive because Steve Spagnuolo sent a defensive blitz that just confused the hell out of Josh Allen, who's been in this league for 8 years. They always save their best stuff for last.
I will say, and also Dan Quinn got some blitzes on Jalen Hurts. That was one of the only things that worked for the Commanders' defense. So that's an interesting subplot. But I have to tell you, I was watching the Bills Chiefs. And I kept thinking to myself, oh, my God, these teams are so conservative. Mm-hmm. Vic Fangio, the defense coordinator of the Eagles, is going to have a field day. They're not, to me, and I see this Chiefs team, like this is not a team with two options. Their two options are run the ball or short pass. I didn't see any vertical game whatsoever. Maybe they get Kelsey down the seam, but I actually thought, whoa, neither team is really scaring me what I'm seeing. I know about the magic with Mahomes in a close game, but what you saw on the field there was like, wow, two teams were scared to throw the ball downfield.
Okay, but it's so effective, though.
Right, but not against a great defense where you don't have a full arsenal to go downfield. I think that, of course, the Chiefs might be able to. They might have that in reserve.
Yeah.
But did you see, basically, like both defenses are just creeping up the line. By the end of the game, there were 10 Chiefs right by the line of scrimmage on every play.
Yeah, and it was effective, and it worked.
That means the Bills didn't want to throw downfield.
Well, I think what happened is, and to just, kind of diagnose everything that went wrong for Buffalo, to me, was everything that went wrong on that last offensive drive. The defense did what they had to do, which was the Chiefs had a 1st and goal, and they held them to a field goal. That's as good as you can get. Maybe it's not stopping them completely, but you'll take that, right? You'll take that. All you have to do is get into field goal range, and the Bills couldn't do that because they went away from what had been working, which was James Cook. And you say that they didn't want Josh Allen to throw. He can throw when they set up the run. It just opens everything. And for some reason, at the end of these games, and I'll say games plural because I've seen this happen this year, last year, something is working for the Buffalo offense, and then they go away from it in the final drive when it matters the most. And the Chiefs never do that. They never lose who they are. They always just stick to like the plan. And then also Patrick Mahomes was running the ball yesterday, and if he decides to use his legs and 2 rushing touchdowns, like good night.
Okay,
it still was a 3-point win.
The last 4 plays, did Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator of the Bills, did he scheme 2 guys open?
Yeah, I guess you just want to, one was a drop / maybe the throw was a little low.
That was a good play call.
To Curtis Samuel. And then the other was Khalil Shakir was open on the left side, but the pass rush got to Josh Allen, the blitz rather, and it forced him to his right.
And Allen admitted he screwed up his pre-snap read. He just should have looked one more time. It's a chess match at this level. Again, though, I mean, what's going on? You're not going to get pass interference down the field if you never, ever, ever throw it. I was shocked. There was one play where Mahomes just let it rip to Hollywood Brown, almost made a catch, probably could have gotten pass interference. I was like, whoa, where's that play? I'm glad they don't do that a lot. I think if they do that against this Eagles team, if they play so one-dimensional, it's not going to work. They have to open it up a little bit.
Okay, talking about everything we saw from Championship Sunday, but here's the thing. There is no way a team can go into Arrowhead or the Super Bowl, a neutral site, and think you're getting calls against the Chiefs. And I'm not saying that's why they won, but I can't leave that to chance that you're going to get a bunch of DPI calls, defensive pass interference calls, because I saw 2 calls in the game yesterday that I thought were egregious.
Yeah.
The first was the catch / interception between Xavier Worthy and Cole Bishop that led immediately to a 1st and goal and to a Chiefs touchdown. I don't know how in the world that is a catch in today's NFL. 1978, sure, that's a catch. Not today. Not with us looking at every single pixelated, and you don't even need to zoom in. Guy's got one hand on the ball and it hits the ground. When is that possession ever?
Yeah, but for some reason, all the officiating experts always say it can hit. You always hear it can hit the ground as long as the ball doesn't move. So there is a precedent. They always say that. And I always think that's kind of ridiculous. Because you could argue the ball did not move when it hit the ground. Okay. They say that's a catch. I always think it's not a catch.
But they never actually award that a catch.
Yeah, they don't usually award it.
No,
You're right.
And then the other was the 4th and 1. And this was at the beginning of the 4th quarter, so maybe more important, more impactful. Beginning of the 4th quarter, and it's 4th and 1. And Josh Allen, another QB sneak that they decided to run, QB keeper, whatever you want to call it. And he gets stood up on a 4th and 1. Chiefs take over on downs. They go and score another touchdown. I think in Buffalo, you tweeted it, and I agree with you. If that game's in Buffalo, that call goes Buffalo's way. And I don't even know if the Bills would have won the game. I just wanted to see what life would have been like if they gave Josh Allen that 4th and 1, which he definitely got, and the drive gets to continue. He could have thrown an interception on the next pass. We have no idea. I just wanted to see it.
Okay, I'm probably delusional here. I think the Eagles could get the benefit of the calls if they're the more aggressive team. Honestly, to cover
on offense or defense?
On offense. I think if they're aggressive offensively, because what'll happen is the Chiefs are going to have a lot of guys up front trying to stop Saquon Barkley. That means A.J. Brown one-on-one down the field. A.J. Brown's so big, cornerbacks just interfere with him all the time. Just being in his aura, I think if they're aggressive down the field passing, they'll get that call. Because officials always award the more aggressive team. Now, you're right. Am I confident about that? No. But I think they can push that Chiefs defense in a way the Bills weren't even interested in.
The line opened up, Chiefs minus 1.5?
Yeah.
Chiefs are slight favorite now in the Super Bowl. And again, we've got 2 weeks to break this down. I'm curious from the audience, is this the matchup you guys wanted?
Oh, yeah. Of course. There's so many Eagles fans out there, and everybody just can't get enough of this Chiefs team. Are you being serious with that question? You know the answer.
Okay. The only reason why I asked this is because there was an era, and it was like when I was a little bit younger, where every Super Bowl was a blowout.
Right.
And I know my Buffalo Bills contributed to that, so save your jokes, everybody. But it was so many lopsided Super Bowls, and then I want to say because of the Patriots always played close Super Bowls.
Yep.
All of a sudden, we've gotten some really nail-biters. Last year with the overtime, and Kansas City and Philly gave us a great Super Bowl.
Yep.
So why wouldn't we want that? If you're a neutral fan, if your team is no longer near it, wouldn't you just want a good game?
No. You know the answer to that. People are tired of Kansas City and Taylor Swift. Nobody likes the Eagles fans because they're so brash. this is a nightmare matchup for neutral fans, probably. I would imagine, maybe I'm overestimating the hatred. We know about the Chiefs backlash. You know, it's funny. We came away from this game. I don't feel like those 2 calls that the Chiefs got, the 4th down call and the catch, non-catch, those were not the egregious ones. At least they did not call roughing on Patrick Mahomes.
They did not, but there was really no reason to because the Bills pass rush never got home. We've got a couple poll questions out there for you at Maggie and Pearl on X. Who do you blame for the Bills' loss to the Chiefs? Is it the players? Is it the refs? Is it the coaches? Or were the Chiefs just better? 44% said the Chiefs are just better.
Yep.
I would say better, but also poised. I think they have the poise at the end. We talked about Jane Daniels. That was the biggest word, poise. The Chiefs are real poise.
Well, are they poised or are they just better? I mean, do they have better players? They do. They're really healthy right now. They're really putting the Bills, those couple injuries on the back 4 were a big deal.
Massive. Then we have another question. Is Josh Allen being let off the hook for the Bills' loss to the Chiefs? Yes, he deserves blame. No, he did all he could do. 75% say no, he did all he could do.
Of course.
EJ, I know you are not happy with the results of that poll. You think Josh Allen should be getting the slings and arrows.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that, like, at the end of the day, he played a good game. He's a great player. Again, I think he should have been the league MVP. But I think when we talk about this game, we can't say, well, it was 12 seconds or somebody missed a field goal. Because maybe talk about a drop, but, I mean, it was 4th down. He's throwing a Hail Mary. It's a tough play. At the end of the day, Josh Allen had the ball, only needing a field goal to extend that game, and he could not get his team past the 50-yard line. I think we can talk about the refs and all that other stuff, but I think to ignore that, I think we're missing a big part of this game. Like, this is a guy that had the ball in his hands with the opportunity to finally put the nail in the coffin in the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and he did not get it done. It's simple to me.
You don't think that the coaching staff bears responsibility on that? For not having James Cook on the field, let alone the ball in his hands to help Josh out?
At the end of the day, though, he's Josh Allen. I mean, what we're talking about, it's like we need James Cook on the field so that Josh Allen can score. Like, no, like he's the guy that he's the straw that stirs the string. He just stirs the drink. He's the league MVP potentially, or second place, I guess. He's the best player on the Bills. Like, he had the chance to get it done. And in those positions, I just feel like I know Patrick Mahomes is getting past the 50-yard line. Like, I just know it.
Well, it's 32-29. Why aren't you putting it on the defense on a score like that? Just if you think about 10 years from now, no one's going to look back and say Josh Allen screwed up that game. And we say, the Chiefs couldn't be stopped.
I mean, but they did stop them from getting a touchdown. Like,
you're holding a quarterback to this perfect level. Like, he scored a lot of points against a great defense.
It's not perfect. It's you had the chance with the ball in your hands. You scored already 29 points. It's not like, you were stopped all game and you were playing against the 85 Bears. You were moving the ball all game. So you had a chance with the ball in your hands, and you got 1 first down, then you went 4 and out after that. Like, I just think that most quarterbacks, when we're judging them on these situations, if you don't only get 1 first down in that situation, we would be saying, hey, you didn't get it done.
You know, I think as time goes on, I think that Josh is going to get more and more probably of the blame. Let's hear from Josh Allen, crediting the Chiefs for that defensive call on the 4th down, said he didn't read it correctly.
Yeah, they gave a good look. Didn't see anything in my first cadence. They were sliding left. Corner came. Yeah.
Okay, more from Josh. Says he's got to watch the film to see what went wrong, but he knows, and we all do, Bills came up short.
I mean, that's hard to tell right now until we watch it. I'm not quite sure, but the result is a loss. And so to answer your question, not good enough.
Okay, and on the flip side, here's Andy Reid saying the Chiefs play their best in the tight moments.
They didn't waver at all, and that's how they've been. I mean, you know that from training camp. I mean, they've got this personality where they know how to bear down. They know when to have fun, but they also know when to bear down.
They found the sweet spot. Like, they've found it. Yeah. And it's not even like they're sneaking into the playoffs here. You know, like 15-2 this year. It's like they know when to bear down. It's like that's a season most teams would kill for.
I disagree on going back one point. I think history will not blame Josh Allen. I think history will say Josh Allen had no one around him. Mm-hmm. I think that'll be the
for
narrative.
this specific team.
Yes,
this
yes,
year.
yeah.
You can't say that in years past.
Right. But you said that as time goes on, more blame will come on Josh Allen for this game. I think it's going to be the narrative, fair or not, is that Josh Allen was lifting a bunch of, what do you always say, EJ? Plumbers?
Farmers and plumbers.
Or plumbers and firemen, yeah.
Firemen, yeah. Usually it's one of those three.
I think they're going to look at this and say, wow, they didn't build the right team this year around him. They got to give him some more talent. And Maggie, I hate to say it, we were just looking at the free agent class. I don't know where that talent's coming from.
For wide receivers.
For wide receivers, yeah.
Yeah, they got a couple holes to fill. Again, this was supposed to be like a bit of a rebuild season for the Bills, but it doesn't make the sting any harder. 855-212-4227, or make the sting any duller. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Dulling the sting. The sting is harder. Anyway.
I knew exactly what you meant.
Rough day.
But it should, if you think about it, if they're going to use all that cap space from the rebuild to put more talent around Josh Allen, I think maybe this is just the beginning. He's 28, Maggie. 28
just the beginning? What are you talking about? He's 7 years in.
It's Michael Jordan didn't win until he was 27 or 28.
Yeah, I know. A little bit different in the physicality of both of those sports.
Peyton Manning, very similar to both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
That's true. 855-212-4227. If you're going to blame someone for the Bills' loss, who is it? Or are the Chiefs just better? I think the coaching staff has a lot of regrets, quite frankly, and I think the refs didn't do a great job. But I don't want to sound like sour grapes. Meanwhile, Perloff's team's going to the Super Bowl.
Go Birds!
Yep. Got 2 weeks of pure joy, but I've been negative on the team, so I'm going to stay kind of negative. Although I have to be honest, I like this matchup, Maggie.
Do you? All right.
Yeah, I just think that the way the Chiefs played on Sunday, they were really taking advantage of a lot of Bills' weaknesses. I think if the Bills were fully healthy, we would have had a different game. Like, can they pull these shenanigans on the Eagles?
We'll talk about it more in a moment. 855-212-4227. Give us your thoughts. Today is about you and getting your reaction to these games and, being along for the ride. I did appreciate how many people reached out yesterday when the team lost. Boomer Esiason came in, former league MVP, gave me a Bills helmet. Brand new. There we go. Up for the live stream. I mean,
the Bills make me wanna.
All right, still too soon, Minnie. Still too soon.
Oh, I have a question for you, Maggie. So you are the kind of person where if your team loses, you actually want to hear from your friends being like, hey, we saw that happen. Like, I'm the opposite. I mean, you've been saying that all morning, and I'm like, I didn't text you or do anything because I'm like, I don't think Maggie wants to hear from anybody. But it sounds like you actually enjoyed hearing that.
It did feel, it felt like people were kind of like grieving with me, which I appreciated. No, I like to hear from people. But you know what's funny? And now do I think about it, would I have reached out to Perloff if your Eagles had lost and been like, hey, get him next year, big fella? I don't know that I would have. I don't think you would have appreciated that.
I'm not going to lie. The 10-minute delay between my welfare check text message kind of had me in threw me for a loop.
That was a little harrowing.
Oh, because it took me 10 minutes to respond? Yeah.
Well,
I got back to you, though.
I've worked with Maggie a little longer than you guys, so I know the whole routine at this point of the Bills' playoff loss.
Go ahead, please.
No, it's pretty much like this.
There was one year where she blamed herself because she went away from making homemade wings or something. There was some logic there.
I was spiraling.
Yeah. No, what was it? I think you nailed it perfectly with what you put out on social right after the game. What was it? It was just the saddest face I've ever seen in my life.
I just couldn't hide it. And I was thinking about it. I thought about I could have just eaten, like, we have this kind of gallon of ice cream that's in my freezer.
For emergencies like this?
Yep. I almost did it too. But the thing is, if I had started, I would have never stopped. And then the whole gallon would have been gone.
It was my first foray into Bills Mafia. I don't think I can do that one.
Oh, I mean.
Rooting
ask if
against Chiefs?
Were we really invited to the party, EJ?
No, I was not. I crashed the party. Yeah. I was not invited. But again, I gave my spirits to Josh Allen and Maggie Gray. But that was brutal. And Maggie's like, that was like, fourth or fifth worst loss ever. And I'm like, yeah.
Does it even make the Mount Rushmore? I don't know if it does.
No.
You know who reached out to say they were sorry? Angela, the tarot card reader.
Yeah, she DM'd us. Yeah.
I was like,
it's her fault.
Well, if you really would have been a good friend, you could have told me it was coming. To be fair, she did.
I'm like, she did.
But she was vague. Like, I asked if the Bills were going to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years, and she said no. But she didn't tell me they were going to be tied with 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and that all of a sudden the team was going to go away from James Cook. Like, that's the kind of knowledge I needed. I needed a little more detail. But I appreciate the tarot card reader reaching out to say how sorry she was.
Can I tell you right now, if the Bills had scored, the Chiefs were going to score. If there was it didn't matter. I mean, you couldn't stop Mahomes at all yesterday, so stop with this James Cook stuff.
855.
The better team won.
212-4227. All right, so we got a Super Bowl matchup. Are you excited about it? Philly and Kansas City again. It's Maggie and Perloff.
E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles! Go Birds!
You're in a 5-minute break.
Was the Arena Bowl the big final game? Inside the mall where legends stake their claim. The teams were stacked with workers galore, from Foot Locker, Hot Topic, and the Apple Store. The Spencer's Gifts crew were high as the sky, throwing Hail Marys just to see if they fly. The food court was roaring, the steaks were supreme. The smell of victory and pretzels filled the scene. In the mall under the neon glow, where touchdowns are scored and pretzels flow. The winning play came with a twist so sweet, caught in a Cinnabon, it couldn't be beat. The quarterback worked at Sunglass Hut, throwing lasers through kiosks, slick as a cut. Wide receiver from Jamba, running so fast, dodged the mannequins and left defenders aghast. Peter Schwartz, the commish, was proud of his league, calling plays in the booth with passion and intrigue. But where was Peter Bellotti supposed to run the board? Once again, no-showed, a ghost ignored. In the mall under the neon glow, where touchdowns are scored and pretzels flow. The winning play came with a twist so sweet, caught in a Cinnabon, it couldn't be beat. Peter Schwartz, the commish, was proud of his league, calling plays in the booth with passion and intrigue. But where was Peter Bellotti supposed to run the board? Once again, no-showed, a ghost ignored. Wild as frosting flew. The Spencer's crew lit sparklers, breaking rules too. Victoria's Secret cheered Bath and Body Works side, as the champs danced in Cinnabon, glazed with pride.
Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
If this world were mine.
All right, Maggie, I got some good news. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show.
Really?
According to ESPN's FPI Football Power Index, Philadelphia Eagles have a 56.2 chance percent of winning over Kansas City, who's at 43.8.
That's good news for me.
No.
Oh, right.
It's good news for Philadelphia Eagles fans. I'm not surprised. On paper, the Eagles are a great matchup here. Of course, when you play the Chiefs, on paper doesn't mean a darn thing. What means something is the fourth quarter and that guy, Patrick Mahomes.
Wait, so the Football Power Index says they have a
56.2.
56.2, but the odds in Vegas says Chiefs are a 1.5 point favorite?
Yep. That's not a surprise. The story says while sportsbooks around the country believe the Chiefs are a slight favorite, ESPN's FPI doesn't agree. I mean, listen, there's a magical power to Patrick Mahomes. We're all aware of this. But if you actually look at the numbers, if you get that Jalen Hurts that you had on Sunday in the Super Bowl and you have Saquon Barkley, I think the Eagles have, football-wise, a great chance to feel like they can beat this team. Now, I don't know what that you know what I'm talking about, that thing that Patrick Mahomes has, that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, he always comes up the biggest in the biggest moments. My question for Philadelphia on this side of it is, do you guys will you finally like Jalen Hurts now? Like,
No.
will you finally trust this guy?
Did you see him up on the podium on the celebration? Again,
What about him?
He just is so reserved. It's unbelievable. Like, everybody's on top of the world, and he's completely professional. Don't get me wrong, but he just didn't even seem happy.
See, this is why you can't win. This is why you can't win. Jalen Hurts, who had an injured knee, plays amazing yesterday. He's running all over the field. He's got defenders chasing him. And because he wasn't happy enough on the podium, now he hasn't silenced the doubters.
No,
Can I tell you, if the flip side was true, and if he was celebrating like so exuberantly and way over the top, you'd be like, come on, man, we still have another game to win. Like, you'd kill him for that.
It's not killing him or not killing him. I just don't think people connect with Jalen Hurts. I think he keeps off to himself. I just don't think you see Travis Kelce up there. Everyone loves him. You see Lamar Jackson. Everybody adores him. Just nobody feels that way about Jalen Hurts. They respect his game, but they don't. He's a hard athlete to love. He's really hard to connect to. You don't see that? He's just so quiet or something. I don't know what's going on. It's like nothing. It's like whatever everyone else is thinking, he's got his own track going on. You guys like Jalen Hurts? Like, man, I want to hang out with Jalen Hurts.
I mean, he's a little quiet, but what is that? I'd rather have that than a guy who's, like, I don't want to say here. Who do I want to say? Like Jameis Winston.
Okay.
He's not like out there being kind of like a clown.
I hear you, but if you're a fan, who do you love more, Saquon Barkley or Jalen Hurts?
The horse is prepared for battle.
I don't know. I mean,
come on. You like Saquon Barkley times 1,000. Everybody loves Saquon Barkley, right? Why would you not? Nobody feels that way about Jalen Hurts.
Is Saquon like this, like, happy-go-lucky guy?
Saquon is the greatest interview. Saquon came in the league at an A+ interview. He's amazing.
Right, but he's not, like, jovial. That's my point.
Yeah.
Is that, like,
Did you see his smile after the? No, Saquon is a positive force, and he connects with people. He's a great interview. Jalen is very much seems like an isolationist to me. And I'm not saying that as a negative or a positive, but you don't really think, like, does Jalen look like he's close with his teammates?
Well, we also have a little reporting to show that he's not. If we didn't know at all that he had issues with A.J. Brown or if he had issues with Nick Sirianni, maybe we'd look at him differently. Because I think the first time Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl, I think he had a lot of fans. I think Eagle fans loved him now. I think you guys are ready to get rid of him for Tanner McKee.
He's just very stoic. I think that is the issue.
I think people like that usually from a QB. 855-212-4227. Let's go to our pal Nick in Texas. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Maggie and Perloff. Well, it's time to put that loyalty to the test. But first, shout out to the Weedos and coffee drinkers, especially the OGs Daily and our Delta B that are always in the chat.
Love
But it's
those
that
guys.
time of year. It's that time of year. We got that photo from the last time that we had this bet, Eagles versus the Chiefs. I think it's time for the redemption pie bet number 2.
Okay.
Pearl, are you in to take these Eagles versus the Chiefs? And
Yes.
we'll let Maggie have the Chiefs.
Oh, well.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is the photo of the great illustration that Nick gave us.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them here, actually. Perloff has one with the the
Chili
cowboy
hat.
hat full of chili that we dumped on your head. This one that sits in front of my laptop, I love it, Nick. This is one of the best gifts that we've ever gotten. It's me seconds before I pie Perloff in the face, and that was after the Eagles lost the Super Bowl.
Wow, it's the widest smile I've ever seen you have.
It was a great day for me personally.
Yeah, I'll do a rematch. Are you in, Maggie? I'll take the Birds. You could have the Chiefs.
Oh, I will. Can we do 2 pies though? Let's double
Yes.
down. Double pies.
Double down.
Yeah, I mean, once you have one
do
pie,
blueberry.
then 2
I
really
want
doesn't
the
matter.
stain on the face.
Pie and also the chocolate syrup. Nah, let's just do the pies.
Well, actually, Maggie, why don't you share with Nick Zach Gelb's idea?
Oh, right. So Zach Gelb, who hosts the time slot we used to be in, the afternoon show, said if it had been Bills and Eagles, the loser would have had to have a baptism by either Cheese Whiz or Blue Cheese.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's tough either way.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, logistically, where do we get all that blue cheese?
He said that he would get it and he would bring it in and he would help dump it over our heads. It's like, wow, how generous of you.
Zach Gelb's the only person who loves blue cheese more than Maggie, I think. I've talked to him about this a lot. He loves blue cheese.
Yeah, he does. Well, but he's a Patriots fan, so he can never be honorary Bills Mafia.
I mean, you would smell like blue cheese for weeks afterward.
Probably.
Or I would in this case.
And that's a great smell.
Blue
You
cheese
smell like
is
a foot.
The blue cheese is definitely worse than the Cheese Whiz. The blue cheese is like funky.
The Cheese Whiz would look at, I keep on bringing up Game of Thrones when they poured molten gold over that guy's head and he died.
It'd be just like that.
Yeah.
No, we'd have to go room temp.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Cheese Whiz, you might want to make it a little warmer so it pours better. Room temp, it's going to be just like a block of cheese hitting you in the forehead.
Well,
you get concussed.
Listen, I guess thank the Bills or thank the Chiefs because we don't get that baptism now. Unless you'd like to do a Cheese Whiz baptism as our bet. I don't
Well, we've already done the pies. I think we consider cheese. Nick, what do you think?
How am I getting roped into this? My team lost. I'm feeling all down in the dumps today, and now I might have to get Cheese Whiz on the head?
Yeah, that Cheese Whiz stuff sounds a little entertaining, kind of like the buffalo sauce that we did. But I'm a little curious on how we would get that cheese melted nicely without burning you and pulling it over your head.
Yeah, I mean, this is for a physicist or a scientist. Will the Cheese Whiz pour well enough if it's not heated to a certain degree?
I mean, do you need a physicist or you need like Vinny from Philadelphia just who works at Pat's or Gino's to tell you?
A cheesesteakologist?
I'm sure you got
Bradley Cooper.
Dozens of
Bradley Cooper right around the corner with his cheesesteak shop.
Mm-hmm.
I saw he got on the
Let's
set.
put it like this.
Yeah.
Zach Gelb had the idea, so if he can figure out a way that we can pour it over your head, I'm in. Otherwise, our backup could be the blueberry pie to the face.
All right.
Blueberry pie.
Nick, you're always thinking and always thinking about the show. We appreciate that. It's almost coming up on Nick's time of year, too, because we'll have Pearl Jam season 4?
4?
Oh, my God, I know.
For the NCAA tournament.
We all have to catch up.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Nick, thank you so much for checking in, dude. Can always count on you. Bogusch has headlines for us. There's a lot happening today. Let's go.
At least they didn't lose in the Super Bowl again. The Bills bowing out in the AFC title game 32-29 in Kansas City yesterday. Sean McDermott yet to solve the Chiefs when it matters in January.
Well, they're a good football team. They've won 2 Super Bowls. They've been to 7 straight AFC championship games, and that's no excuse. This is a good football team. We got to keep working to get over that hump. There's no doubt about it.
4 of the Bills' last 5 seasons have now ended at the hands of the Chiefs, who are the first team to actually get to the Super Bowl with a chance for a three-peat. Patrick Mahomes threw a touchdown, ran for 2 others yesterday, while the KCD stopped the Bills twice on 4th down in the 4th quarter. Here's the QB on making it to the end again.
That was a great football team that we played. And so for us to go through the season and win the games the way that we won them, I'm proud of the team. But like you said, we're not to the ultimate goal yet, and this will be a great challenge for us with Philadelphia.
The bad news for most of America is that those Eagles did make the Super Bowl again. They're waiting on the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59 after scoring 55 in a 32-point rout of the
Commanders.
Yes, they climbed light posts in Philly last night. One guy brought with him a copy of the book A.J. Brown's been reading on the sidelines. All of that after Philly ran for 7 touchdowns and took the ball away 4 times. The Eagles didn't have Saquon Barkley when they lost to the Chiefs 2 Super Bowls ago.
I bought into this culture. I bought into this organization, and I know how those guys felt. So I'm gonna make sure I do everything in my capability and my ability that same thing won't happen again.
I'm sorry. Can I bring something up? So A.J. Brown was reading Inner Excellence, and he said, no, I read these books on the sideline all the time. Since then, have you seen him read at all? You don't think the cameras, one of the 50 cameras, would be on A.J. Brown to say, like, hey, he's reading again?
Since then, it's been 62 minutes of football action. It's not like it's been that many games.
Well, I'm just saying. He acts like he's reading Rainbow on the sideline, like,
Maybe he's like me and he doesn't know how to read.
I think.
Well, then what were we doing the first time?
He obviously exaggerated reading every game. I think he reads a lot, but not every time.
Guys, just let her get it out. She just has to. Everyone's
never seen it.
It just has to come out today. We're all targets. A.J. Brown doesn't read enough. just nod and say, you're right, Maggie. That's a good point. He's a fake.
No, don't placate me.
Good point.
Well, there's this weird narrative that A.J. Brown doesn't care if he doesn't get a lot of targets. They kept saying that yesterday. I'm like, that dude cares. I do not buy that for 1 second that he's happy to watch Saquon Barkley. Because I know why. Have you ever seen a wide receiver who isn't obsessed with his own targets?
He didn't have to be yesterday. He had plenty of them.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that 4-down conversion was the play of the game, no? The long pass on the sideline.
The one that all the Commanders fans
there.
told me was a hold.
Where? By him?
No. They said that the Eagles got a big hold on somebody who was about to get hurt, so they dragged him out.
That was weak.
By the way, I'm sorry, one more call that we totally forgot about was that kickoff return by the Chiefs, where pretty much every Bills player got blocked in the back.
Yeah.
Or
one guy got held. You saw his jersey stretch off his chest.
Yeah, it was like
Did they throw any flags?
No, they didn't throw any flags. They could have actually arrested somebody on that play. and sorry, I'm just complaining for you. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, thanks. That makes me feel awesome.
Maggie, your thoughts on Chris Jones crying yesterday?
I thought maybe he got poked in the eye.
He definitely got poked in the eye. Or he maced. There's no way.
Maced?
Because there was no reason to cry. They showed him the headline. There were tears streaming down, and he's rubbing his eyes and talking to the coach.
He was crying the last game, though. That guy's crying all the time.
He cries during the anthem.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is.
Well, he came off. Was that a concussion then? I'm wondering what happened. Because he came off, and they didn't say what it is.
They say he lost his helmet, so I assume maybe he had to come off because his helmet came off. But that's a college thing. That's not an NFL thing, right?
So why was he crying?
I have no idea.
Oh, he got poked in the eye.
I thought so. And if he didn't,
why would he be
keep
crying
it together,
in the third
Chris.
quarter?
He was crying earlier in the game, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he was crying. Like, he cries during the game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he does. I never noticed that.
But you would think that would be expending even more energy to be crying.
I mean, he definitely cried when the game was over. Like when they got the ball back and they got that last first down, there was another cut to him and he was in tears on the bench.
That you're going to the Super Bowl now. That's acceptable to be crying.
It's already been. Yeah.
Who cares? You can cry multiple times. Did you cry when your second kid was born, or just the first?
I didn't cry when either was born. I cried like a week later when I hadn't slept for 7 days. What do you mean? Did you guys cry when your kids were born?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, is that a cry situation?
Well, now I'm wondering if my husband was crying. He probably wasn't, but I
was.
was.
Why would you be crying? You're freaked out beyond belief. You're like, geez, what is happening here?
I think I don't have experience, but I think you guys are in the minority on this.
Yeah. I definitely was crying.
My dad has talked about crying when I was born.
It's such an incredible, crazy thing when you finally see your kid right there.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I was excited. I wasn't bummed, but I didn't cry. I don't remember being scared.
The ultimate cry is walking your daughter down the aisle for her wedding.
Yes,
you can get me to cry just talking about it right now.
I've come close. I don't think I cried at my wedding either, but I've come closer to crying watching them do things.
Yeah,
like at
of course.
School plays and stuff like that, or music, like that stuff gets me now.
Y'all are soft.
Just wait, Manny.
You're
gonna see your kid all of a sudden, have the game-winning hit. It's gonna be Waterworks.
Probably not.
Carlos the fourth, a step back jumper in a 5th grade CYO game.
Yeah,
look out.
That kid's gonna be 5'4".
Yeah, I don't know if that's right, EJ. And by the way, about people crying when their kids are born, you have to understand fathers, and you didn't see that we're in sheer panic. I mean, it is terror what's going on. We don't know where to stand. We don't know if you're okay. We have no idea what's going on. It is a bad time.
Thank you for keeping it to yourself.
Yeah, crying. Yeah.
Wait, what if you're going to cry when you walk Lucy and Emma down the aisle? I get that.
Yeah.
They're young now, but they will eventually do this. What if you don't like the guy? Are you going to be so fuming that you're not even going to be able to get the tears?
Different tears.
This is a terrible scenario.
I'm just
But a
asking the
plausible
question.
one. A plausible one.
But why
You
do I
might
not
hate
like the
this
guy?
dude.
What's wrong?
Well,
with
his
him?
name is Manny.
And he
And
lives
he's
with his
strangely
parents.
old for your daughter.
What's his problem?
He's way too old.
He's sniffing glue. What's wrong with Ken? What do you know that I don't know?
He's a Chiefs fan. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He's Chiefsaholic. No, that's
What if I
that's
don't like
sinister.
him? Gosh. Don't ask Maggie questions about life the day after the Bills lose a
Listen.
playoff game. Her negativity is way too
Yeah,
strong.
no, now I gotta think, man, is Andre gonna be crying because Andrea is marrying me, or just because she's getting married?
You'll never know.
Manny Rodriguez.
EJ, it's like when you say wow, and we're not sure if that's because you can't believe what just came out of our mouths or what.
EJ, do you think you're going to cry when you say I do?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I don't think so. I feel like I may cry during vows.
Yeah.
Public
Are you writing your
speaking.
own? You're writing your own?
Yeah, like that long speaking. Like I'm a little nervous about that, speaking in front of all those people.
You speak for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like your feelings.
I got to be honest.
Speak
Again,
it a little Jalen Brunson.
Again,
Get you
it
right
sounded
back to
great.
zero.
idea. Good
There-
idea, EJ.
there is so much logistics to handle that weekend. You're just going to be so obsessed. Like, oh man, Uncle Nick just texted me 10 minutes away, doesn't know where the church is. There's so much going on. You might not be able to embrace this emotion the way you think it. Bogusch, you know what I'm talking about, or am I crazy here?
No, I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. You have a lot ahead of you, EJ.
My hope
Do you think
is
your
that-
rehab from your patellar knee tendon was complicated? Wait till you plan a wedding.
Yeah. Make a seating chart at a wedding.
My hope is to turn my phone off and be like, all questions go to the wedding planner and the person of the day. Do not text me.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely work.
Yeah. If you turn your phone off the day of your wedding, it's also going to be the day of your divorce.
That's also
Don't do that.
That's a fallacy when your wife asks you a question about the wedding. Does she want your opinion? Does she not want your opinion? The answer is there's no right answer. You're dead.
Answer is sure.
Yeah, I love how you guys are like, man, the guy has it so tough for the wedding. I was spinning like a top off of the earth, having to put together the amount of decisions I had to make. But sure, yeah, it was so tough for you. You had to show up.
But I think deep down though, Maggie, you as for Andrea, they want to make those decisions though.
Yeah, out.
Yeah, exactly. Like Andrea doesn't want me being like, no. We actually the drape should be here and the flowers should. She
No,
don't
it
want
depends.
that.
Like you said, you want some, the music,
Mm-hmm.
some of that stuff. But as far as like,
Napkin color.
yeah, how everyone's dressed, who's sitting where, I guess you could help out with for your side.
The only debate we've had so far is circles tables or rectangle tables.
Yeah, that's a fine.
She's apparently a big fan of rectangles, and I was like, I think circles more.
You guys are never going to make
like
it.
circles.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is the kind of stuff you should be. No,
Rectangle tables at a wedding?
if you,
What is that? It's not a picnic. It's a wedding.
That's what I said.
If this is the stuff you're fighting over, not like how dare you invite so and so, you're gonna be fine.
By
This
the
is
real
little stuff.
The real battle lines are drawn between the bride and the mother of the bride. That's where the heat comes. Forget you and the bride. You have no choice.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay out of that.
Yeah,
Like the
whatever.
bride
I don't
and
know.
her mom.
Yeah, that's usually, in my experience and with my friends, that's where the real tension comes.
Yeah, I'm lucky my mom and I see the same
Yeah, your
everything
mom
the
is,
same way.
and also your mom is
Is
amazing
a
at this
caterer,
stuff.
but I would not get in the middle of a bride and her mom, a bride and the mother of the groom.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
keep them in separate.
Groom's parents are supposed to have less say.
Stratospheres.
The groom's parents that traditionally do not have a lot of say, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of have to go along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think, what's going to happen. We'll see, though.
Yeah, 855-212-4227.
We're just trying to
don't call
distract you, Maggie.
Just don't bring Sean McDermott in to plan
Yeah.
this wedding.
Yeah,
you never know how it's going to go.
You're sitting next to Sean McDermott at the wedding.
We are trying to keep your mind off what happened yesterday, Maggie. Did 3 minutes of relief there? Nothing?
The bills make me wanna.
Still no, Manny.
McDermott wouldn't use EJ in his wedding. He's a backup groom.
They'd be like, Shamar, you're actually going to be the guy at the aisle, my brother.
855-212-4227. No, you can't put me in a good mood today. None of your jokes are going to work. We see you guys on the phones. Oh, it looks like somebody wants to call in from the Chiefs side of things. Delightful. Get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Super Bowl matchup is set, and it's a rematch. Chiefs and Eagles. Perloff's Eagles make it back to the big game. Exciting stuff for you. Tough day for me, but I'm getting through it. Steven is from Kansas City and wants to address all the Chief haters in the house. Good morning, Steven. Congratulations to your Chiefs.
Hey, Maggie, I feel you. I mean, but the consolation prize to me in this is I'm a sports fan overall, and the history of what we are seeing right now with this kid as our quarterback, I mean, it is crazy. I mean, the gauntlet that they ran this year alone in the season, the quarterbacks that they beat, and then here's what's crazy, the 2 losses that they did, they still split with them. They went 500 against them to get there, and to go 3, to possibly win 3, So I reflected after this win. I was sitting there watching this and trying to absorb all this and thinking about things. And, you know, there's like, I don't know if anybody's been this close. He could have possibly been to 8 straight Super Bowls. I mean, Ford doesn't line up offside in the one against the Patriots. You know, they go to that Super Bowl. It's just crazy what we're watching in history. And I don't mind being the villain now, but I'm not. When the Patriots and Brady in their heyday, when they had the undefeated season, I wanted to see them win that Super Bowl. I wanted to see something that's never been done.
Yeah.
And that is a big deal if you're a sports fan to say that, man, you can say all you want to. I think this is going to be the most watched Super Bowl in the history for the mere fact that people are going to want to see something, and then other people are going to want it to not happen. You know, the Chief haters aren't. So I think
Steven,
it's going to be.
You're right, man.
Special.
And I congratulations to you, and I think you're totally right. First of all, it is mind-blowing to think that Mahomes could have gone to 8 straight Super Bowls. The loss to the Patriots, yes, would have been.
Why is it at 7 or am
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, it would have been 7. 7 straight.
Unless he's assuming next year is going to happen too.
Might as well.
Not
in perpetuity that the Chiefs make it to the AFC Championship game. But the other part is, we talked about this a little bit in the first hour of the show. Let's bring it back at the end. Which is, I think casual fans, or if you don't have a rooting interest, will start wanting to see history as the week goes on.
I'm looking up last year's Super Bowl was the most watched ever. I think that might just be because of streaming and everything. I don't know if every year is not going to be the most watched.
That one went to overtime.
Yeah, no, I think that now the way they incorporate it, anyway, regardless, it's going to have a lot of eyeballs.
You think? Joseph is in Rochester. Joseph, how you feeling, dude?
Maggie, I thought we were going to get that game right at the end, girl. I really did.
Me too, but, you know, the football gods had something else in store.
So, Maggie, I just want to run this by you and see what you think.
Okay.
So let's pretend you're the general manager of the Bills, and I'm the general manager of the Vikings, and I give you a call, and I say, I'll give you Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy for Josh Allen. What do you think?
I'm hanging up the phone.
Wait, who do you get?
Wait,
J.J. McCarthy
I'm
and
the
who?
Bills, and I'm trading Josh Allen for Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson? No, J.J. McCarthy?
No, and for J.J. McCarthy.
Joe, I mean, I know we're all taking the loss really hard here, man, but you got to stay off the sauce, pal. That's a crazy trade.
All right. Well, we'll get Josh Allen as your ring bearer for the wedding there.
Well, thank you. It's for EJ's wedding. I've been married for a decade.
He didn't argue with you. He didn't argue with you when you told him to stay off the sauce. He's like, fair. Bills fan, yeah.
PBRs, baby, PBRs.
Darnold and McCarthy?
McCarthy. No, did he say Darnold and McCarthy? McCarthy and Jefferson.
No, he said Darnold and J.J. McCarthy.
Why would you want both quarterbacks?
Why would I want both of those guys?
Trying to dump Minnesota's problems onto you.
Josh Allen is untradeable.
Yeah, you're not going to upgrade from Josh Allen.
No, you know how Bill Parcells apparently told Aaron Glenn everyone's got a price?
What if you could
This is not true.
What if you could pry Tyreek Hill away from the Dolphins?
I don't know.
What if I'm trying to find some receiver for you? I think you're going to have to trade for one.
By the way, I think the
Devontae
Dolphins
Adams?
would just let him go. Maybe not. I don't know. Devontae Adams? I don't know. Today's not the day for that. But E.J. Stewart, Manny Rodriguez, Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan. Listen, congratulations, Perloff. Your Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
I had a big part in it. You're welcome.
And congrats to the Chiefs fans as well. Weedos and coffee drinkers. We'll see you tomorrow.